You will understand the meaning of that phrase. The others won't, but you will.
Now, here's a question for you guys. When you exalt, are you the same person that you were before you exalted?
You were, or they were. This is something different. This is something going to be a little bit unique to you guys. Due to the presence of an artifact.
Okay,
that we will see.
So I'm still skimming through the VOD, and there was a mind control collar used?
Hmm?
Yep.
Who got hit with a mind control collar?
That was the Solar who was fighting you guys.
The NPC.
Ah. Yeah, I actually just read to the part where he charmed the inanimate object to come off of the person. See, I'm just so
So much can
charismatic
do
the
that.
collar wants to come off.
Word of our community's acclaim spreads.
Yeah, the artworks, those are still work in progress, right?
Yes. Yes, they are. I'm hoping to get them going. Hopefully, Mary will have them done before next Sunday, or at least started.
Where are you? Alright. There we go. Stand in avatar for now.
Unless it is an avatar from Fantasy Grounds itself, you cannot use it.
I don't have any from Fantasy Grounds themselves.
There are.
Could just use an,
Huh?
could just use an avatar I drew myself.
Alright.
Oh wait, no, I'm stupid. I can just use Rose. Where can I find a list of Fantasy Grounds avatars?
Don't worry about it. If you've got the, honestly, I'm not worried about icons right now.
I'm clicking on your icon and going to portrait.
I'm talking about the avatar on Discord.
Ah.
Oh, that's why I'm in the wrong folder. Actually, in a weird bit of irony, a screenshot from Skyrim actually matches Adamant closest, which is kind of interesting. But that would clash with the art style. I fuck it. All I really got is Rose. That's it, as far as avatars go. Everything else would clash with the art style everyone else's avatars have. Of 30. You need to get up.
Welcome back. Your steadfast loyalty is greatly appreciated.
Crap, I gotta fix my audio levels. And I have to log into Fantasy Grounds. Don't mind me, I'm just fucking up my everything. And with only a couple seconds left on the clock, I got all of my stuff open and ready to go.
Alrighty, everyone. Hello and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, and this is Tides of Madness Exalted. Also, holy crap, Toshime, almost 12 months.
Next month.
Yosh. I will turn over the recap now to Tanya because she just watched the recording of the last session. So there you go, Tanya. Recap the last session.
I didn't know there was gonna be a test. I skimmed.
Oh.
I've been moving. I'm in a new apartment on the other side of the country. There was a lot of stuff going down last week. So Toshime went out of his way to make a fun day that was full of pain.
What do you mean,
But then one of our people, who shall not be named,
What do you mean, Toshime?
he rubbed a magic stone and he made it day.
What are you
it wasn't-
talking
It was
was
a session beforehand.
Yeah, it wasn't Toshime. It was fucking
Timmy.
Timmy. Thank you. Timmy did it. Timmy tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, the sun made them splatter.
How long were you sitting on that?
I actually just now thought it up as a quick improv because I was like, oh fuck, I named the wrong DM.
Oh, okay.
GM, not DM. It's not D&D. So it's GM.
Actually, it's not a GM either.
Storyteller?
Yes.
Storyteller.
Ah, third time's the charm.
Anyways,
So, yes,
yeah, the actual recap, Nestle, you were really awesome last time. Why don't you go?
Pass.
Oh my fuck. Okay. No, I got this. So, without all the pomp and circumstance, there was a giant zombie army, and then someone used a magic stone, and the zombies caught on fire. And then it's like, oh, wait, the zombies were actually demon-possessed, and the zombie stuff was supposed to be a ruse so they could get closer. This totally isn't just a cop-out to fix the players somehow getting perfect rolls and having just the right gear.
Actually, no. The demons were summoned. He had a backup army.
Ah, okay. I thought that they were like possessing the zombies, and the zombies were just camouflage.
No, there was another artifact he had that he used in order to summon the demons. Issue is
Got it.
demons are much less subservient than undead, so it's more of a, well, I guess we can use it if we need to.
So they sieged the castle, the flying fortress, and there was a solar exalted that appeared to be leading them. Turned out, he just had a mind control collar on. So our resident bard just smiled at the collar. His tooth glinted in the sunlight, which he had brought with him into the underworld, and the collar just fell off.
Not that inaccurate.
And now we're back to having a broken flying fortress that we're trying to fix, and really wanting to get out of the underworld as quickly as possible.
Also, Timmy,
Yes.
the donation goal has been completed.
Oh
And
no!
Toshime, no, you really should not have done that.
Did he just squeak?
It's coming to play.
Did he just squeak?
I squeed. Oh, Kuvar is coming to play.
And I know how bad this is gonna be.
He knows what Kavara is, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, I'll give you guys a little bit of time, though. I already had stuff planned.
Now we have a whole bunch of crying biddies coming in.
Yes, let your tears fill me. Oh, this is going to be fun. For me, not for you.
Well, at least the Martin's getting plenty to eat.
Hey,
Some
hold
of
on.
your tears have made it into the. Some of your tears made it into his little food bowl there.
Oh, I thought you were responding to what Wolf had just said.
Oh.
Oh no no no! I'm talking about the little Martin eating gif that we have on the
Yeah,
stream right
The-
next to the pachinko.
that's actually why I chopped it into 3, was that I just wanted to completely flood that thing.
So, anyways, Tibby, how horribly are we going to regret existence?
Don't worry, don't worry. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time. Everyone? Well, actually, we'll get that raised up once we do all of this first, real quick. Because I think this will be a good time to let you guys spend your experience. So I will let you guys do that. As you guys finish after purging the foul demons, slaying the second circle demon, Octavian, which, by the way, you guys would know that did not actually kill him. You basically just sent him back screaming to Malpheus, aka Hell. And now he's going to be pissed with you.
I hope that he bounced when he landed. Now, what am I? Who am I kidding? He cratered.
But as you do, you can see the person who helped you standing on a precipice now, a large rock outcropping. He's sitting on it, one leg kind of swinging back and forth. And you can see the flag-like lance that he's holding over one shoulder as he's just kind of watching you. Specifically, his focus is on Nevis.
Well, Nevis is kind of cleaning off his spear and armor. He's a little oblivious to the guy, just kind of focused on cleaning things up after the battle, making sure his equipment's in good shape, making note of any damage to have brain died. Ferris,
Adamant?
fix
Okay.
later.
Does anyone else do anything as you guys are finishing up with this battle?
Making sure my cult is all right from the crash.
They are okay. They've already begun repairs to try to get everything up. It'll probably take a few hours, but you should be able to get it going.
The automatons, they participated in the fighting, right?
Yes, they helped harry the army and keep them under control.
All right. Well, I'd be overseeing the repair and maintenance of them then.
Most of them were not damaged. The demons focused, the Blood Apes focused more on the living army rather than on the unliving drones. They were not nearly as interesting to kill and make scream.
How many casualties did my army suffer? I thought it did
None.
very well. Oh, okay, okay.
None.
So
Yeah,
they
see,
tried.
rousing speeches. Rousing speeches make all the difference.
As you guys are going about this, Zusha and Fabian, are you guys up to anything?
Helping with the repairs.
Okay.
Favian can't do much and he used a lot of motes, so he's going to be laying down to rest.
Okay. As all this is going on, does anyone approach the figure watching you?
Where is this figure at?
Oh, maybe like 50 feet away.
Nevis, do you happen to see that over there?
This is the figure that we would all know helped us, right?
Yes, he was the one who summoned the adorable little mouse army, which proceeded to do horrible, horrible things to those demons.
Was that the donation goal last session?
You guys had a little bit of backup.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Adamant. That is the one that aided us in our fight last, just a moment ago. I was about to say last session, and then I'm like, wait, that's not something you would say in character.
I know we just finished, but it already feels like a month ago. So, I really have no grounds to interact with the guy right now because I'm still patching together everything. So, yeah, I'm sitting there tending to my machines.
Well, Nevis will, after making sure his army and equipment and everything is in order, he will go over to thank the mysterious figure. Your assistance was appreciated. Might I ask your name? I am Nevis, King of Conquerors.
As you say that, the figure stands up, and he seems to vanish. Before Nevis, you feel a very cold chill down your back.
Nevis is going to look around, somewhat concerned.
When you turn around, he's literally about 2 feet away from you, looking at you up and down.
That was neat. Do it again.
He's got his spear at the ready.
The figure chuckles as he casually uses his own spear and just kind of bats it to the side, playfully. There's no need for that. If I wanted to kill you, I would have.
While I suppose that is true, one cannot be too cautious, especially in a place like this.
Fair enough. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised to see me here. Though I didn't realize I became such a full of myself.
What are you... What?
Oh, apologies. I'm you. Or you were me. If that makes sense.
None whatsoever, but please continue.
I was basically going to say the same thing.
He shakes his head slightly. Normally, when someone dies, their soul moves on. From one person to the next. Cycle of reincarnation we call Leith. I am an echo, you could say. I'm not really a ghost. But I am who you used to be, as he points his spear at Nevis.
You are an echo, and you are who I used to be. I'm afraid I have never looked like yourself.
Nevis, it's okay. You can hug yourself.
He shakes his head. I died. When I died, my soul went on to become you. You are my reincarnation. Your soul is my soul.
So would Nevis understand? Because I know what's going on.
Yes,
But
this is pretty much basic stuff for this
Okay.
world. Everyone knows that either
Yeah,
when
don't
you
you remember
die,
in
you
school
either
when they taught you this?
yeah no when a person dies, they either reincarnate as someone else, or they remain stuck in the underworld, unable to move on. The major religion of the place that calls you guys basically demons says that if you do good deeds and work hard, eventually you can reincarnate as a dragon blood, which they consider to be the greatest thing you can be.
So I would understand that he is the lunar.
Yes.
Okay.
Not to interject too much here, but I would like to point out a small observation. Normally, Nevis is the one that is the total egotist, yet in this particular case, the one who says, "Oh wow, I've become so full of myself," is the one who moments prior said, "If I wanted to kill you, you'd be dead." Just an observation.
I was originally from the first stage. Believe me, you guys are children compared to me. After you live for 20,000 years, then you can talk.
Oh, and talking down to us. Yeah, we see which one's the one that's truly full of themselves.
You haven't changed, however. As he's looking right at Adamant.
Good to know that I'm consistent.
Well, you were my wife.
I'm going back to my machines now.
Nevis looks over at Adamant. A look of almost dread on his face.
I mean, she wasn't that bad beforehand. She was actually really, really nice, but
You just said that she hasn't changed at all.
Yeah,
would
I mean, she still had a fiery temper.
So we're just not going to discuss the fact that he's a human.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of thing is not that big of a deal.
Bodies change. Souls don't usually, though.
But I don't know about you,
that I was-
but this body, this is a good body.
I mean, as he kind of looks you up and down, I mean, you're not wrong.
Oh my god.
Hey,
Oh, hey, look,
okay.
the sensor is misaligned.
But no, I felt you guys when you guys came down into the underworld. Well, as he kind of wraps a finger against the spear, this felt it.
How is it that you still have your equipment, as it were? If you are
He
just
flicks a
an
finger
echo.
against this. He flicks a finger against the spear. This.
I'm afraid I'm gonna need
Basically-
a little bit more than that.
All of my memories, all of my power, everything. When I died, I poured it into this. It was the last thing I had for my wife. She made it for me. And it carries on some of that power. That's where I come from.
You're
So,
tempting me to stroke my own ego considerably right now.
so she made that, and you are just an echo created by the spear.
Mm-hmm. I have all of our memories. I have the powers and abilities that I had. Me and my circle mates. We all worked with this. It was something our circle used. It was meant to be a tool to pass on knowledge from one generation to the next, to be a beacon to what people could be rather than what they were. That's why it's, as he bangs it down once and the flag unfurls, showing the image of 5 dragons with the sun, stars, and moon around them.
Timmy, you did not include that description in the one that you sent me, so now I gotta go update
I know.
it.
No, it changes.
Oh, okay.
It changes.
Okay.
It's an artifact. It's a very powerful artifact.
It's an artifact level NA.
I just...
It's about that level.
So, I had asked Timmy for a description of the artifact he was going to give me, so I could give it to Mary to have it drawn properly, but he didn't include the sun and moon and stars and such. So,
Uh-oh.
he included the dragons, so, that was good.
Frantic
So I'm
typing in
sitting
the
here
background.
yeah, basically. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta go update it.
No, this is because he is wielding it. That's why it is this form. Don't worry about it. I have plans. I'm
So-
not giving you an NA level artifact that easily.
It was made by the ancient artisans of NAN.
But I figured, hey, it's good to see me. Maybe it could be put to use again.
I would be honored to put it to good use. We have an empire to conquer, after all. Geen wants to know if NA is referring to not applicable or something else here.
Yeah. When we refer to an NA artifact is it's not an in-world term, it is a game term. An NA artifact cannot be bought at character creation. It cannot be gotten by a character without basically GM desire to give them one, because they are so powerful. When an NA artifact enters the scene, they are extremely powerful and extremely rare. They are more common now in 3rd edition than they were in 2nd edition, because a lot of the 5 artifacts got bumped up to NA artifacts in 3rd edition. But I can hand them out as I see fit based on what the players do. And this particular one is not one that is useful for fighting, which my characters are already good at. This is going to be more for story and plot things that I think they will like.
But Nevis likes fighting.
Yes, it's not going to be designed to, like, skewer someone and do horrific amounts of damage.
You're right. I haven't changed. Because that would be the perfect thing to give him to tell him, calm the hell out, honey.
Nevis flips her the finger.
Ah, I see you can hear me through the fourth wall. Good to know.
Anyways, back to in-character stuff. Where did we leave off? Oh yeah, I had said that I need to conquer the Empire.
But you say that all the time.
He lifts the spear and jabs it into the ground as it just stands firmly planted by itself. And around you guys, the world begins to swirl as basically a pure field of white opens up around you guys.
I hope that my engineers are paying attention.
This
They're causing
is...
so much torque on the hull.
No, it's fine. It's fine. This is one of the abilities of the spear. It's meant to pass on knowledge.
Okay.
This is the area it does that in. Right now, I'm maintaining it in order to give you guys time to train, practice, and learn. And as he snaps his fingers, and from your shadows, each of you, a figure begins to rise up. For each of you, it looks like it's just a person, but each of you feels a connection to this person. As though you've met them before, though the details are very hazy and unclear.
Of course. Of course. Because into the underworld, and now we're having a family reunion.
The one who had the flag just smiles. Hey, who better to teach you than you?
Or that. That is also an option.
All right.
So-
Everyone, while you are in here, this is going to be important. We're going to take a couple minute break real quick. While you guys are in here, you guys are considered to be able to train as much time as it would normally take in moments.
So basically, this is where we can spend our experience points.
Yes. Also,
yeah, I
everyone,
put that together.
please raise your essence to 3.
Yay.
And
Well.
save.
You guys reached the experience point where you guys go up to essence 3 now with last session. You just need some time to train in order to raise it up, though, which is what this will give you.
I just realized something.
And
Alright.
right now, we should
Right.
have how much experience? Got 45 written down, but I don't remember if that was...
Sounds right. Yes, 55.
55, okay.
Can someone type this into the chat, please, so I can upgrade or...
Yeah, I have no idea how the leveling stuff works, so...
Okay, so first off, go to the Discord. Nestle, one sec here.
I'm going there myself, too, so I can help out. It should be... there it is. It's in the pins. It's solar advancement charts.
The solar advancement costs, and then there is one for lunars as well. I put those together.
I'll be right back.
Really? Right now? Seriously? I'm about to start
Okay,
explaining
I'm back.
There we
Hey,
go.
it's 1 o'clock. I have to get Caddy up for work.
I put together, kind of pasted together the different traits and experience costs.
Alright. So yeah, in the pin messages on the Discord, you'll see the experience points for me, and I took screenshots from the books. Tanya, I think you're the only other lunar. The rest of you are solars, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, Tanya, you'll be using the lunar advancement costs, and the rest of you will be using the solar. And that's basically how much experience it costs. Now,
Note, real quick, everyone. When it says purchased merit, you cannot do that. I do not do that in my games. I will give you merits. You guys just need to let me know what you guys kind of want, so I can work that into the plot to make sure you guys can get it.
good to know.
So if you want to get like backing or set up a cult, you just do that in game, and once you finish doing it in a session, I will give you the merit for free. If you want an artifact, hey, look, you just stole the artifact off the person.
Alright.
And all merits are gotten through gameplay, not through experience. Everything else is good though.
Okay.
So yeah, you guys can ignore the training times. Keep in mind, your solar lunar XP, I forget what it cannot be spent on.
Charms.
Yeah, okay.
It cannot be used for solar or lunar charms. Is the only ability it does not count for.
So basically, you've got 55 solar/lunar experience that you can spend on anything except for charms. And then you've got 55 experience that can be spent on anything, including charms.
Wait, so we've got 55 of both?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, good to know.
One of the big issues, and this is also for our viewers too, I figured I can give them a little bit of commentary while you guys are getting everything figured out. One of the big issues with a lot of World of Darkness games, and Exalted especially too, is unlike like D&D where mid-maxing is like it's kind of dickish to do, but it's not really that big of a deal. In World of Darkness and Exalted, it's a really big deal because someone who mid-maxes versus someone who just kind of puts their points wherever they kind of want to, the difference in their level in trying to get the person who went normal versus someone who min-max is like 200 to 300 experience is how much they have to pay just to catch up with the starting character. Is how bad it can be sometimes, depending on where they spend their points.
Oof.
Yeah, it can be a really big deal, which is one of the things that players have been kind of trying to tell them. It's like, hey, this isn't really okay. Like, you can have two players making two different characters, and one is just like utterly, completely weaker than the other, and you can look at that and go, it's like, in order to get them up to snuff, you have to spend like 100 experience just to get them to the starting level where the other character began at. And they said, well, no, that doesn't really happen. It's like, no, we've done the math, we've done it. We have how much it costs in experience based on what you guys tell us.
Like trying to talk to Epic tech support. Oh, no, the problem's at your end. Our servers didn't get breached. We don't know what you're talking about.
It's frustrating because it's like, I like players being able to make whatever character they want to make. And I want to help them make whatever character they want to make. But at the same time, I kind of have to tell them it's way better just to max out all of your scores for the main abilities you use than it is to set them like at 2 or 3 and then get a lot of different abilities, because the amount of experience you're going to have to spend versus someone who just starts at the high level is a lot of experience. If you start like your ability at 2 or 3, In order to get it from 2 dots to 5 dots, you need to spend.
If it's non-favored, it's the cost is ×2 for each dot you have. So starting at 2, it would be 4, then 6, then 8. If it's favored, it's ×2 minus 1. So
Mhm.
3, 5, 7.
I mean, that's still 15 experience that you have to spend just to get to someone who started at that character creation. An experience, that's 3 sessions of experience.
Yeah, something else. You want to explain how the experience itself works real quick as well?
Okay, so every session, it's not like D&D or Pathfinder or any of those other games that many of you might have played already. In this game, you get just a straight, usually 5 experience points. Sometimes I might give more if you guys do something really cool or we're finishing off a session, or I might give a little less if nothing really happened, you guys spend a lot of time shopping, that kind of thing. It's up to DM how much you guys get. And for me, though, you guys get 5 normal experience, and then 5 solar experience, which can be used for anything except for solar charms or lunar charms. And once you spend it, it's gone. So basically, every session you get around 5 to 10 experience, usually, on average. So you have to consider where you want to put that experience, because if you put it in the wrong place, you don't get it back. There's no retraining or anything. So, and you, unlike D&D where it's like you rest and then you level up, here it's like to raise your ability score or your attribute score, it's like weeks times the dot level you're trying to raise it to. So that means like you're spending like 2 or 3 months training to get your strength up 1 or 2 dots. There's a long training time, which is one of the reasons they haven't spent their experience beforehand, because they just haven't had the time to do it, which is why I set this up so that they could have a chance to raise their experience, especially with what they might be facing after this.
Now, just
So I
because Go ahead.
I completely forgot the difference between the 2 types of experience already, but what can be spent on what? This is so much data coming in.
The only difference is you cannot spend lunar experience in order to get lunar charms. That's it.
The charms are the only difference?
Yeah. So basically, spend your lunar experience on everything except for charms, and then save your general experience for charms. I will...
Unless you're just ignoring charms and just going for just new ability scores, new specialties, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Can you spend lunar experience on evocations?
Yes.
Okay.
Those are not charms.
Okay, I wanted to make sure. Because we are streaming and there is a lot to go through, I think we will not bother going through all of, get your basic stuff set up and upgraded that you want, but you can worry about charms later, unless, obviously you can buy them now, but basically between
I figured
sessions-
you guys would just be raising your stats and such. I figured any charms you guys can add later on. Because most of you guys are equipped with more charms than a starring character would get. There was a reason for that.
+8 is 2.
I have finished spending my lunar experience. I'm gonna look through the charms later.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And keep in mind, you can possibly save up for evocations too. If you guys are able to actually do this fight and win, you guys are going to be getting a fudge ton of experience because of what I have planned. Kuvara is basically replacing what was originally going to happen.
Basically, if we live, we're gonna be much more powerful.
Yes.
Emphasis
The
on the
issue is you're
death.
facing Kuvara. So I can tell everyone at home what originally was supposed to happen before the donation goal was met. Originally, I spent time statting out a solar or lunar for each of you to face and to attempt to overcome in order to get great gifts and abilities like free charms, free artifacts, free items from your past lives as you start to learn from them as you face them in battle one-on-one. And I picked out stuff for each of you to give to you guys based on what happens. Now, you guys, in order to get that stuff, are going to need to face Kuvara. Good luck, my children. Oh, I can't wait for you guys to meet Kuvara. I want to see how you guys are going to do.
30. Four, so that's now 42.
By the way, I'm going to warn you, Nevis, you guys are probably going to be without your armies for this fight.
7, 8. That's 50.
That's fine. I need to figure out how to multi-class anyways. Guys, I have discovered that lunars are terrible with armies.
16.
That's the price you pay for trying to be a furry.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, we could have been a furry
I feel
as a solar
personally
as
attacked.
well.
Yeah, the issue is solars are a lot. Lunars are really good at shapeshifting and being very physical. Their physical abilities usually surpass the solars. When it comes to doing things, solars are just god tier at whatever they put their minds to doing due to where they come from. But they don't have like the shapeshifting and versatility a lunar has.
Apparently Crisp is very good. I just sneezed, couldn't get to the mute button in time, but apparently it didn't even transmit. Crisp is amazing.
Crisp is amazing when it actually works.
This is true.
Half the time, in my experience, Crisp is like, oh, you're talking? Well, clearly that's background noise that needs to be muted.
Well, it is.
Does anyone have any questions about like Exalted and such too, either from the audience or from any of the players while you guys are getting everything leveled up?
Clockworker Jin says, I have a feeling someone may die here.
Some of you may die.
Depending on how you guys do, I will give a little bit of assistance for like things you guys can try. To help you out a little bit, things that your characters and such would know. Like you can take defend other actions and such. You can take disarm actions. Things like that. Otherwise, this is going to be a difficult fight, I think. Because of what Kuvara is. However, if you succeed, the rewards are going to be glorious!
So loud. New ability is 3, so that is now 14. That's another 3. So
Also
that's
remember
17.
that abilities in D&D and Pathfinder They're called skills. In this one, they're called abilities. And then what are called abilities in D&D and Pathfinder are actually attributes here.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep, yep, yep.
abilities is your athletics, awareness, occult, performance, etc.
Occult is so good. Occult and lore.
I bumped my occult up to 5.
You are wise, sir.
And I
a
got lore to 3.
A joke for our audience. Whenever I play Exalted, the rare times I'm ever allowed to play because the curse of the
DM.
storyteller. I am contractually obligated to take Occult 5 and Lore 5 whenever I make a character. Because otherwise, when you know literally everything about the world, it can get really twitchy when it's like, no, I don't know that. No, I wouldn't know that. With those scores, it's like, I have a good chance of at least making the rolls to know that stuff.
Ah, I see. That's 6, so that means that is now 9.
Oh, hang on. I'm going to get a picture for everyone.
Can I just leave some of the experience points banked for later for when we deal with the charm stuff?
Yeah,
Correct. You do not need to spend it all here.
Alright.
you can. Okay,
we're-
so basically between sessions with the charms and such, you can spend them as much as you want, except for new experience that we get from this session.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
So the 55
Basically-
points you can spend as you want between this session and the next one.
Well, I have 26 global experience points left. I'm gonna leave those banked for later.
Keep in mind also that you can save your experience. Like, you don't have to spend them at all right now. You can save them for
Yep,
later.
you don't have to. Kavara, I am sharing a picture in the Discord. Sir, if you would be willing to share this. I just need to grab it real quick. I uploaded a picture in the Tides of Madness, Exalted.
No idea how badly I'm
post it up
tempted.
I'll post that in tabletop image on the Discord and bring it up on stream.
You have no idea how tempted I was to just dump everything into attributes that we can say, there, it's done.
I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing to do.
Having a 5 in a stat is legendary.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you,
So
as the
actually-
Exalted, are legendary.
Well, on that note, I actually did take the opportunity to max out dodge, because this is supposed to be a dodge build. I had max dexterity
Dodge!
and like 4 in dodge, and it's like, yeah, that should be good enough. And no, I got stabbed. Clearly, I'm not agile enough yet. I'm a disappointment to
One of
rabbits
the things
everywhere.
you can also do is you can also buy specialties. A specialty is something you are good at specifically
Just a
in one ability.
Just a moment. Patty is being all grumpy and refusing to get out of bed.
Like you could buy Zim could buy a specialty in his spear, so he gets a +3 bonus whenever he's using his spear.
I already had that, but yeah, I could.
No. I was using that as an example though.
Just gonna
You
have
can
to use-
get a specialty in any of the abilities.
You have to use the one thing that works on both Caddies and Martins. Gonna bribe her out of bed with a piece of meat.
Doesn't he look nice though, everyone? Just look at him. Look how nice he is.
I mean, I do have appearance 4. I've also maxed out my intelligence and perception.
Perception is God's tier.
You know when you waggle the sausage in front of the dog's face and they take a moment to wake up and realize what it is, and then immediately bite your finger off. That.
So, stream, do you guys like our friend Kavara? Doesn't he look like a pleasant playmate?
He looks hungry. Wait, I've got it. We'll feed Nevis to him. Now hear me out,
That
hear
would
me
be-
out. His ego is so large, it'll get stuck in his throat.
Tanya, how good is your craft skill?
5.
Do you know any dismantling charms?
I didn't even know those were a thing.
That would be very bad to do. Do not do that to Kavara.
Well, now I've gotta. I didn't even know dismantling charms were a thing. If this person's a consummate tinkerer and has managed to reverse engineer the pre-fall tech, well, it only makes sense that she'd be able to take stuff apart.
You don't
you
want
want-
to take her.
if you want to
don't wanna
destroy
take
the
Kavara
world.
apart. This is the DM stepping in and warning you: do not take Kavara apart if you value your lives.
What? It's only a nuclear reactor. It's fine.
No,
No.
it's way worse than that.
It's what's inside Kavara.
You mean the
Uh-huh.
rotting corpses of thousands of people and the trapped souls of an army?
No. That would be nice compared to what is actually in there.
A god?
No. Okay, so I'll tell you guys why you guys are getting set up because I think you guys have enough of a role to make the role when you guys do it. Kavara the Walking Devil Tower is a War Strider, which is basically the equivalent of a Gundam in this universe. Kavara, however, is sentient. Kavara was built around a creature that is analytical to creation. Wherever it is, creation is not. And it unmakes creation by its sheer presence. And Kavara is sentient because the thing that is Kavara wants out. It is trapped in there. And
I'm gonna
the
go
way,
take a wrench to it. Be right back.
and it bonds to whoever pilots it. Think of it like strips of like muscle tissue wrapping around your limbs and almost fusing with you in order for you to
So-
control it and work with it.
So basically, what you're saying is this is Attack on Gundam. Got it.
Similar, yeah, for Kavara.
It's like Attack
Mark
on Titan, but with metal.
Oh no, Kavara's plates, those plates you see are made of moon silver. Those plates can pull back and show Kavara's true form. That is very bad if that happens.
So it's big. It's covered in moon silver, and you can peel the plates back to reveal its true form. So basically, it's Nevis.
No, its plates can just peel back automatically for some of its abilities.
Well, yeah, Nevis takes his helmet off every now and then. That's basically the same thing.
Nevis almost never wears a helmet.
Oh, I think I was thinking of Timber again. I miss Red Flag. Okay. Darn him and being a productive member of society and standing up for the nation that he loves. How dare he? Yeah, just because we keep talking about it, I actually have just gone and spent another point in occults, and I have 20 left. And I'm going to leave that and try very hard not to touch it because I'm noticing a lot of things have a price tag of 10. All right, now I've got an occult 4.
I grabbed something just to be cheeky and silly.
I also
Are any of you unarmed attackers?
well, I'm supposed to be using a rapier, but my weapon still isn't listed on my character sheet. I need to deal with that. Should have a rapier and a fire wand.
Let's deal with that right now. If you want to help her, Timmy.
Okay. Do you have an artifact or just a mundane?
Well, obviously the sword would be made out of something that can stand up to the kind of abuse that I'm going to put it through. But other than that, and the fire wand, it would be more of a pistol style, like small, compact for emergency use.
I no, that's fine. That's fine. It's just the matter of I need to know because the stats are different. Did you take artifacts?
I don't believe so, but I also hadn't finished my sheet because there's still a few things that never did get handled. It's just life kept being chaotic as ever loving hell. And at this point, it's been well over a month, and I simply can't remember if I had any purchasables left that I could have an artifact weapon. I can hand you my sheet, and you can see what it looks like.
I'd have to go through all the costing right now. And I'm trying to get the your weapon set up, at least like finding the stats for it. No, just the reason I asked was because it might matter a little bit. Alright, I have your weapon ready if you are ready.
Hey, give me a sec. Got the tab back in here. Alright, got the auto drop.
Alright, the weapon is going to be light. Accuracy +4.
Oh, wait, shit. I thought that was like you were leaving the name. So that'd be the tag would be light.
No, the category would be light.
I don't see light listed. Whether it be light or heavy, just name, then accuracy is at +4.
Yep, accuracy is +4. Damage +7. Defense +0. Overwhelming 1.
Just 1 or +1?
1. Just 1.
So light, would that go under tags? Because I got weapon name, tags, and dice pool.
Don't worry about the that too much then. It's just a category for
And it's
which
just-
type of weapon it is.
It's just a regular old rapier.
Yeah, unlike like D&D and Pathfinder, weapons are not categorized by what type of weapon they are. They are categorized by if they are either a light weapon, medium weapon, or a heavy weapon. And then you use the tags to flavor what they are.
Got it.
So your weapon, the tags, you have balanced.
Alright.
Which raises the overwhelming of your weapon by 1.
And that's the one reason that it has 1, right?
No, it'll go up to 2.
Okay, now it's at 2.
And piercing for you.
Right.
Piercing allows you to it allows you to spend 1 initiative in order to lower the defense of your opponent by 1, and for withering attack, you get to ignore 4 points of their soak from any armor they have.
Oof.
Because
So, yeah,
it's designed to pierce through armor, or it's designed to hit through the weak spots in armor.
Alrighty, so that's the rapier, and the other one would be a small fire wand.
Let me go down to ranged weapons real quick.
Because yeah, that it would be styled like a flintlock pistol, and she keeps it on the bandolier on her chest, where it can be quickly accessed if needed.
Okay. That is going to be damage plus 11, overwhelming 1, and then there should be range bands for that, and I will give those to you when you are ready.
And it's just be called fire wand.
Yep.
As Tanya's getting ready, quick question.
Quick answer.
Demons we fought, would that allow me to get Demon Rack and Shout by any chance?
Oh, yes. That would. Blood Eights are extremely loud, and they use voice type attacks. So yes, I would allow that.
Bard uses scream. It was very effective. Alright, so yeah, for the weapon I got fire wand, damage plus 11, overwhelming 1. That's all that's listed right now.
Okay. For your flame pistol, I'm just double checking something real quick.
I'm picking up the ever wary fox technique charm.
Okay.
One of its effects, if I'm unconscious or incapacitated or such, and I sense danger, I just wake myself up.
That's cool. All right, your ranges.
Oh my god.
You have close 0, and then short +4. This adds to your attack whenever you make an attack. You cannot fire out to medium, long, or extreme range with a flame
Oh
pistol.
shit, sorry. I was...
You're good.
No, he said his thing about the Everwary Fox thing, and then I was focused on trying to think up a witty retort, and I completely zoned out. That was on me. So anyways, you were saying?
Your close accuracy is 0, and your short accuracy is +4. Since it is a ranged weapon.
Where am I putting this?
There should be a different range bands for close or for melee or for ranged weapons.
Well, I do see a listing of archery and thrown.
That would be
the
it.
numbers can't be edited.
For this one, it would be because just remember that close is 0 instead of -2.
I could just put this in the tags category, the range band modifications.
Yeah, that would work. Also,
Okay,
raise your damage from +11 to +15.
Where's the extra 4 coming from?
Hmm?
Where's the extra 4 coming from?
It's a flame weapon.
Alright, so close is 0, and what else would there be?
That's it. You cannot fire past close range, though, with this weapon.
Because it's a small wand.
No, it's just because the fire would spread out too far and be ineffective.
Got it. Well, I mean, the thing is meant to be an emergency self-defense weapon anyway.
Keep in mind, close range is like anyone in the same room as you.
Yeah. So yeah, it's an emergency flamethrower.
Mm-hmm. Medium range is like a football field away.
Yeah, football field flamethrower. Das Flammenwerfer.
Yeah, that doesn't usually work without charms.
No, you just need the German army. It's fine.
Or you just need a craft skill high enough to create it.
Yeah.
Craft skill, you say? thoughts for later. Either way, yeah, I finally got my weapons made, so
'Kay.
there.
Is everybody good to go?
Almost.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit on my remaining 20 experience points, and I got my weapons sorted.
Our essence would also go. Not our essence. Our motes would also go up because of our essence, correct?
Yes, this is correct.
I'm trying to get set up for wild shaping technique.
Though I am doing exactly what you said not to do, and I'm spreading myself out because fun character.
Oh no, it's fine doing that in with experience. You want to be a bit focused though when you're making the character, and basically give them like what they're supposed to do early because you're going to save yourself like 150 experience. Spread out once you get actual experience points, because it's a lot cheaper to go small into other abilities than it is to go big.
Yeah, that's actually something I did. Is that I took the 1 pip of resistance and martial arts and melee. I took a point in each of those, so that way I don't have to deal with the penalties of not having any abilities in it at all.
That's fair. That's one of the things you can do, like you do with experiences. It's only like 2 points to get a single dot. So it's like you can get like 2 after the first session to pick up the weaknesses to make sure you don't get the minuses.
New ability costs 3. And that ability increases current rating x2.
2. Okay, sorry, I got mixed around.
And yeah, everything that I got was dumped into abilities and attributes, except I did also upgrade my willpower by 2, so I don't have to deal with that being a problem a second time.
Nice.
Though I'm having trouble finding how much the motes are supposed to go up.
Also notice, I'm the only character who has taken serious damage, and the only character who currently has limit break. I am upset by this.
Don't worry, that won't be for long.
Why you pick on poor Bunny?
Don't worry, I almost got a charm where I tell myself a do-good and gain limit break.
Wait, like you can manually increase your limit break?
There's a performance charm that you can use on others that give you half of, they will believe anything you say, and they gain half of your roll to defend that belief. And you can do it on yourself, but you gain limit break when you're doing it because you're basically mind controlling yourself.
You're hyping yourself up.
Well, no, it's forcing yourself to believe something. You are basically forcing a tie on someone. You are changing their thoughts.
Let me just hack my operating system real quick. Update a few registry values. That won't cause system instability.
Like, if I had something where I have to leave someone to die, but I want to save someone, I could change that with that charm. Yeah.
That, I feel like that can be abused. Basically, it means that you can just spend a point of limit break to just say, no, I know my character wouldn't normally do this, but I'm going to do it anyways, because plot.
Uh-huh.
I hope we're keeping everyone entertained here. Sorry for this, everyone.
Well, I got my sheet sorted for the moment.
I was talking to the stream.
Should have just warned us beforehand, like, hey, you might level up soon. Think about it.
Yeah, that would have been wise to do. I didn't even think about that. This just gives me time to prepare. Oh, this is not going to go. I'm hoping you guys do okay.
Okay, so I have obtained Ox Body Technique. It gives me a... The Lunar is endowed with superhuman vitality. She gains additional health levels based on her stamina rating. My stamina rating is 3, so I would get 2 minus 2 levels and 1 minus 4 level. How the hell does that work?
All right, so if you go down to the bottom of the page where your health levels are, you get to add in 2 minus 2 health levels and a minus 4 health level there.
Ah, before I'm incapacitated.
Yes, and you can take that charm multiple times, by the way. You can take Ox Body Technique up to your stamina.
I actually have that one as well.
And if you increase your stamina, your Ox Body Technique retroactively gains more health levels. Based on your new score. Ox Body Technique is a very good charm. It gives you a lot of survivability for very little cost.
Also, how does Disarm Gambit work?
Okay, so, remember how you guys make
You need
a...
to restart your headset.
Oh, hang on.
Hey, quick question. Fear, would that be under manipulation or appearance?
For what?
Fear. If you're instilling fear.
That would be a manipulation or charisma plus presence roll.
Presence, thank you. That's the one.
Yep. To answer your question, what a disarm gambit would be, there are multiple gambits that you guys can make. Disarm, trip, distraction. You guys name it, we can come up with it. Basically, what a gambit is, though, is you guys know how you can make decisive attacks back when we were doing combat and everything?
Yes.
Instead of going for damage, you make basically the equivalent of a decisive attack using your initiative, and you roll your initiative. Versus a gambit difficulty. Up to me how difficult it is. Like, say if it says gambit difficulty 4 or 5, depending on what it does. Some charms or abilities will say what the gambit difficulty is. That means you need to get that many successes to succeed. If you reach or beat the gambit difficulty, so if it's gambit 4, you have to get 4 or more successes. If you do that, the gambit succeeds, and whatever happens, happens. So if you disarm and fling their weapon away from them, which is really rough for someone who relies on their weapon.
Good
Does that
to
help?
know. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
gambits are very good.
I said I wouldn't dip into that 20 remaining experience, but I just said screw it, put an extra 2 points into presence, because I remember trying to use Feral Smile tactics and it did not perform as well as I wanted, so now I've got 2 more dice available for that.
Nice. And remember, everyone, you do have your basic charms that aren't technically listed on your sheet. For every favorite ability you have, plus every ability that you have a charm in, you get the basic charm fort where you can spend 1 mote per dot up to a max of your skills, your skill plus your attribute, to get that many bonus dice to roll.
Is it just running a test roll here to see what happened? Oh!
Decoy is asking, are decisive attacks the equivalent of called shots from 2nd edition?
No. Decisive attacks are attacks that will actually target the health levels of a character.
You know
There are
how
two-
in shows and movies people will like be hitting each other's swords before one manages to slash against the chest? Hit. I thought I heard Timmy say something.
Oh no!
Oh, that was me giggling.
That was right.
Yeah, so them hitting the swords against each other would be withering attacks. When one starts to get the upper hand, that is their initiative going up, and the other one's going down. That slash across the chest is decisive.
And that's the attack that will actually put someone down.
What's the threshold for success on a dice pool?
I'm the one who decides that.
And 10s automatically count as 2, right?
Yes. There are abilities you can take that will lower the difficulty or increase it'll give you double 9s or double 8s.
Yeah,
So
Feral
8s
Smile
or 9.
Tactic allows me to double 9s. The first roll didn't seem to go that well, but the second one exploded, and it has an 8 minimum before you even begin deciding how high the difficulty level was.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know like the difficulties that the book gives you a chart for like how to base difficulty and such, and to lower or raise like the number they have to hit on their dice. So for some rolls you might have you only need to get 1 or 2 successes, but you have to roll only 9s or 10s. Because it's normally a very basic task, but you're doing it in the middle of a giant firestorm raging around you, which is a little bit more difficult.
Wait, you're doing what in the middle of a firestorm?
Like, if you're trying to do some basic tasks that you can do usually, but there's a giant raging firestorm coming towards you, it's a little bit more panicking.
I'm talking about Feral Smile Tactics, and you're like Raging Firestorm. Like, if anything, that should give me advantage on the roll, man.
No,
you're in the middle of this firestorm, and here comes this demonic-looking creature grinning at you.
Normally that'd be 7. The difficulty would normally, unless I say otherwise, the difficulty for your dice pool is always 7.
In that case, yeah, I would have gotten an 11 on that hypothetical roll. On the second one that exploded. On the first one, it would have been 2.
Remember, take 1s off.
Oh.
1 subtract.
So it'd be 10 or 1.
Yeah, that would probably rip through whoever's mental defenses you're doing that to.
The 10 would. The 1 wouldn't.
You'd be surprised. Most mortals only have like a defense rating of like 1.
Oh, so you're saying that if I go get 10 against a regular mortal, their brain just completely shuts down.
Yes. Like, I don't know, like, the normal dice pool for, like, a common soldier is, like, 4 or 5. Their defense is, like, 2.
Oh my god. Beast King Dictates couldn't be stacked with Feral Smile Tactics, could it?
As long as they aren't both simple charms, they can be.
Well, Beast King Dictate says it's specifically persuasion, bargaining, or threat.
If you are doing one of those things, yes, it can be combined.
If you're instilling fear, can that count as a threat? Is what I'm asking.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes. Yes, you are instilling fear. You are threatening someone. That usually puts fear into somebody.
So re-rolling 3 dice here. That'd be the 1 and the 2 3s. Oh, there's another 10. Oh no.
And I'm adding harmonious academic methodology, and onto my lore I'm adding immaculate order.
Oh, I approve.
That would have been a 16 on fear. Yeah, that means that person just crapped out their own organs.
I did forget I had something. I have the memory thing. I forget its name. The Eldritch memory, I believe. Basically, if we forget something, I just say, "Hey, Timmy, tell us."
I approve. Is everyone almost ready? I don't mind waiting a little bit longer, but I just wanted to check. Make sure everyone's doing okay.
I'm afraid of my own fear rolls now.
I
If I'm
Oh,
willing
yeah.
to burn essence, oh my god. Sorry, not burn essence, motes. If I'm willing to
And
burn
remember,
motes.
remember, Tanya, you can use. So you know how you roll like charisma or manipulation plus presence?
Uh-huh.
You can double that by spending that many motes. So if you have a normal dice pool of 9, you can spend 9 motes to get 9 more dice to roll for those charms.
So basically, what you're saying is that this could be flavored at this point because, the multiple levels of Quicksilver that I've taken just means that you look at them and they turn into a giant wall of flesh with a million giggling mouths on it, and it's slowly moving towards you.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's enough
I
to
want to remind you
dishevel
guys,
some people.
you guys are not like you guys are. You look at the things that D&D and Pathfinder characters fight, and you go, "Oh, that's so cute."
I want to keep it as a pet.
Yes, you guys are the people who go to like the god's domain and go, "Sup, bitches? Where's my food?" And then if they try to fuck with you, you just
Or
kick
go
their
into the
ass.
sun.
Walk right into Valhalla, pick up the throne. I'm borrowing this. Be back later.
And I
Yes,
hope
they actually did that.
I just
I hope
know
Nevis
that
has a high willpower.
What's up, Zim?
I just know that I need to go to the sun and say hi to my new pet.
Zusha, I may have told him about the greater elemental dragon that's currently chained up in the sun.
Oh my god.
I will ride into the battle on its back.
Using a lot of sunscreen.
I have a big fear that Nevis may not have enough willpower for this fight.
I'm so glad that I bought 2 points of willpower now.
Why do you say that?
The King of Conquerors gets control of the machine of conquering.
Oh, so you're saying him resisting wanting to take it over.
Yeah.
I want a mall. I want a mall. Anyways, yeah, I got everything sorted out. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I'll save some XP
I'm ready
for
to
next
go
time.
as well. I got my charms
The
and
longer we
everything.
the longer we stay here, the more tempted I am to spend that last 10 experience points, but I need that to get a new charm.
Do it, do it, do it.
No!
So, I did pick up weapon snatching coils. Twisting her joints in directions they shouldn't twist or butting off prehensile tendrils, the lunar wrests away her enemy's weapon. She imposes a -1 penalty on an enemy's defense against a disarm gambit, and adds attack roll extra successes as bonus dice on the gambit's initiative roll. I have no idea what that really means, but it sounded useful.
Read it again, what it actually does.
She imposes a -1 penalty on an enemy's defense against a disarm gambit, and adds attack roll extra successes as bonus dice on the gambit's initiative roll.
So you know how you normally just roll your initiative, and you don't add anything after you hit them?
Yes.
For a decisive attack? Yeah, here, every success you get over their defense, you get to add on to your initiative for disarming them. And their defense is lowered by 1. You are very good at disarming them.
Cool. Though I
Which,
still need
believe
to
me,
figure out what to do with
disarming is a nightmare to deal with.
Yeah, I still need to figure out what to do with my army. I'm thinking... I'm still leaning towards just having Ferris, be the main commander of the army.
Mm-hmm.
Since, I mean, okay, he's more, while I'm up there fighting alongside, I'm the commander, he's my second in command, my lieutenant. He handles the strategizing and such because, you know, lunar charms for armies are absolute garbage. But Dragon Blood ones are awesome.
Oh, now you tell me.
I didn't know about this either.
No, that kind of makes my character all the more quirky and interesting, in my opinion. Like, the looters normally don't do the whole commander-leader thing.
They just don't have very many. They don't have very many charms for leading an army, and
you see,
even
you
what
see,
they
that
do
shared-
have are kind of garbage.
Well, you see, she just got into the whole leadership role in order to impress her husband.
But yeah,
Sam?
Ferris. Sorry, what?
You went silent there.
Oh, I was responding to Decoy in the stream chat. But yeah,
Aww. I thought that I left
so
you speechless.
as far as the army goes, we'll probably want to talk about this off stream, but I kind of would like to adjust some things since I did not realize how bad lunars were on that. And,
That's fine.
And probably have Ferris kind of the default. You know, he's leading them in combat. I'm the head of it, but he's the body, basically. He's my loyal vassal, you know?
Okay.
And
I
like
finally got my computer fixed. And
Yay!
yes, and I'm finally looking at my charms, so I'm going to pick up Throat Slitting Shadow Atemi and
Okay.
Bernus Execution.
Good, good.
And shot my Elon Shadow tree there. And I'm just starting to look at other options here.
Alright.
So
You
it says
can't-
Mastery in Umbernus Execution. What exactly does Mastery mean in this case?
You know the form charm for it.
Elaborate?
You know the form charm for your style, yes?
I'm not sure what exactly that means in this. Oh, Ebb and Form. Is that what you're
Yeah.
talking about? Ah,
Yes,
okay.
it's the charm you need. If you know Ebb and Form, you know that you get the mastery abilities because you are considered a master by knowing that charm.
Huh. Even though it's already a requirement back up farther.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Cool. Thank you.
There are some abilities that allow you to break or give you access to them.
Ah.
Like certain artifacts can give you access to charms or abilities without actually needing the prerequisites.
I gotcha.
So this is a way of doing that.
Understood. Well, that is cool. I'll have to copy out the what exactly it does later on. Okay. Eight, so 32. Wait. Yeah, 16, 32. No. 22. No, 24. I can't add today. Okay. I got a lot more experience to do. I might as well just kind of chuck it into some things.
You don't need to
Can?
spend them
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, you don't have to spend them all, and you can save them for. You can work on it during the week.
Given that we're fighting some sort of demon hell tower, I feel like I should spend a little more.
No, Devil Hell Tower.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
That's better.
By the way, Tanya Sim, did you guys buff up your personal motes and such?
I
Personal
don't.
notes? What do you mean?
I don't know what the motes go up to.
So for your personal, it's essence plus 15, so you would just add 1 to your personal. Well, 1 maximum. And then for the peripheral, it's essence times 4 plus 34, so just add 4 to that one.
Okay, so personal goes up by 1, you said?
Yep, personal goes up by 1, the other one goes up by 4.
So it would be peripheral would be 46 now. Personal would be 18.
That's what I've got.
Please make sure all of your essence is back to full again.
Please make sure you've saved your character sheet edits. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mean your will? Because essence doesn't go down, right?
Oh no, I mean your motes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Unless
motes
you
will
have
go
commit-
back to max. Willpower, please put back to max. You guys have basically spent a couple of months training in here, in the span of like 30 seconds.
Unless you have committed essence.
Yes, the committed essence won't come back because it's committed to your artifacts and such.
Oh my god, I just realized something. Consider that I've increased manipulation by 1. I've increased manipulation by 1. I've increased presence by 2, and occult by 1. Yeah, I think it's pretty clear what I've been training with myself with. By which I mean I've been beating myself up continually. You're an awful person. I know.
You think you can do anything with that? Come on, show me what you can do.
Oh my god, it ends up being reverse training. I'm just continually dragging on this shadow because it gives me a chance to yell at myself. I mean, that would explain why presence has gone up.
Oh. Oh.
That's right.
everyone ready
I've
then?
weaponized my self-hate. Fear me.
Can you get a specialty in armor?
Yes.
Neat.
Yes, you can.
Would my 7 Rings of Darkness be anything in particular, or just
That would be the specialty. It would be specifically in moving and using that type of, that specific suit of armor.
Gotcha.
Yep, specialties are always going to be very focused. It has to be like a particular like weapon or a skill, that kind of thing.
I gotcha. And would it be a martial arts with parentheses 7 Rings of Darkness, or would it be armor and parentheses 7 Rings of Darkness? Or would it just be
I would probably-
especially as 7 Rings of Darkness?
I'd probably put in resistance for that.
It's okay. And for like my Mist Carver or Mist Cutter?
That would be either melee or martial arts, depending on which one you wanted to use.
Gotcha. Martial arts it is. Cool. So I'm going to be getting a specialty in both of those.
Excellent. Specialties are very good. Very, very handy to have.
Oh, that's right. I can get that in my solar, so I lose 6 over there. And still have 24 experience. Nice. And since if I wanted to get an occult point or 2, my current rating is 0, and so it would cost 0 to get it. Is that?
It'll
No,
be 3. For the first dot,
yeah.
it's 3.
Oh, that's right. That's right. My bad. Okay, so 3 of that.
I'm just so proud of myself now. That one of my characters in one of these games has canonically weaponized depression.
That's just silly. Get another point of willpower.
I feel guilty for not taking any combat stuff during this.
But if I wanted to get a second point in occult, it would just be 2. Is that correct? If I only have 1 point in it?
If you have 1 point in occult,
It's a non-favored ability.
Current rating times 2, so it would be 4.
But I only have 1 in it currently.
Yeah, it would be 1.
So 1 times 2, 2.
If it's non-favored, current rating times 2, so it would be 2.
Okay.
If it's a cast or favored one, then it would be 1.
Correct. Is there any way to make a point or make a ability favored after character creation?
1 sec.
Yes. What's the question? Sorry.
Oh, can you make a non-favored ability a favored ability after character creation?
No.
Okay, didn't think so. That is fair. All right. Current rating times 4. Get another point in strength. Then another point in intelligence, which would be 8. Trying to round out a little bit.
Welcome to Spreadsheet Simulator, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Out of curiosity, the additional abilities, is that like just random stuff we make up, or what's the
For what?
on the character sheet? There's additional abilities and they're just blank.
Oh, those are like if you go into like craft or such, you have to choose specific things like craft weapons, craft armor, craft first aid technology.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
actually, on that note, I have the craft first aid thing. That was something we were supposed to discuss, and we never got around to.
All right, let me do this quick scan through. Got that. Well, that'd be a lot of experience. Okay. Bear with me, I'm almost done. Is everybody else done? Am I the last one? Randomly.
Everybody else is ready to go.
Okay.
We should probably go ahead and get going again.
Yeah, I'm just trying to take advantage of this null time that we seem to be in here, so.
All right.
And
The
still
stream's only at the
spend-
2-hour mark. It's fine.
You can spend those between this session and next. I am rather glad that we're doing this on stream, though, because for those of you that are watching, you could get a little bit of a glimpse into the Exalted system as a whole.
And hey, if you guys have any questions, I can answer it.
And you can also see why it is that we're all incurably mad.
Who's mad here? I had all my stuff done before you guys even started.
We're all nuts down here.
And remember to cause a crash before you do damage.
Oh crap! I just realized something.
I
The
need to
fire
jump back.
wand. The fire wand does plus 15 damage. So if I were to use that purely for withering, I could theoretically cause an instant crash with that. Couldn't
The
I?
damage is only used for withering from weapons. You use initiative for decisive damage.
Oh, sorry. Just. So what? Withering is what to get their initiative to crash, right?
Yes, and you get that.
Yeah. So if the fire wand, could that be used as withering damage, or can that only
Yeah.
only decisive?
No, it's withering. All weapons are used for either withering or decisive. You choose when you make the attack.
So yeah, plus 15 withering, and it doesn't look like it actually. Oh no, that's right. That's the accuracy is down in the archery thing. Never mind.
Ranged weapons are really good at knocking out withering, and it's great.
Yeah, you're forcing the person to keep dodging and evading, which means they're now distracted.
Timmy once had a boss against me and two others in a game he ran for me, and I took the big boss into crash, like, first turn.
Sounds
This
about
might
right.
be 2 sessions worth of fight. All right, I'm ready when you are, though, everyone.
I think I'm good to go.
Okay, I'm just jumping back to Kavara's giant 10-page stat block. Don't mind me.
Jeez.
Yeah, the second page is actually just nothing but a sheet of zeros.
I'm going to guess now that like 6 pages are just basically charms and effects.
Yeah, it's Kavara's charms and evocations. And like his health track and everything.
One whole
that's
page
right,
is
he has that.
dedicated only to his health pool.
So Kuvara has 50 health levels.
Damn.
That's not much.
It isn't.
I mean, it is, but depends.
Hey, just throwing this out there, we still have a nuke, right?
That'll take us out too.
Yeah, that'll take you guys out too.
We
But-
also have that collar I snagged.
No, bad.
You
No.
have to get close enough to.
All right, let's go, you guys. So, as you guys train for months upon months, fighting, learning, basically putting your all against your former selves, you can feel your powers growing, the very essence within you growing stronger, brighter, and more powerful, as you are starting to truly come into your power now.
I'm just yelling at myself a lot. I'm getting very good at yelling.
Before you hear a wail, a massive, massive wail of pure rage, anger, and sorrow and pain.
Nevis found the Legos again. You really need to watch where you walk.
Nevis's shadow pauses and he looks frightened.
Oh.
No. It can't have gone here.
A month, huh? That's enough time to repair the fortress, right?
That was outside. That was in here.
Ooh.
Time goes faster.
So it's just a tiny little hyperbolic time chamber.
Pretty much. That's one of the abilities of the lance. But it is also linked to something, and it has stirred. As Nevis's shadow looks at all of you, there's a very large problem about to come. Get ready to fight for your lives.
So basically the same thing we've been doing since we arrived.
Nevis,
This thing
King
is
of
gonna-
Conquerors, fears nothing. Ferris! Other person! Solar! To my side!
They will move over to you. You have a little bit of preparation
Wincut.
time.
That's who it was.
You can see as this is happening, as you guys have a little bit of prep time now, the ground beneath you is cracking.
Get the fortress in the air. Get the fortress in the air.
No. You guys are
What?
still in the chamber. You guys are still in
What?
the chamber.
I thought it collapsed.
No, it hasn't collapsed. It's still there. The ground itself, though, for that is cracking.
Time to go.
So literally, our soldiers. So we went in here looking perfectly fine, and then we come out of this little chamber, and our soldier, like, not even a minute has passed, and they're just like, "Why the hell are they missing arms and stuff?"
As the ground beneath you shatters and something begins to pull itself out. It towers over everyone, 2 or 3 stories.
I'm
Here's an
charging
off switch,
forward to
right?
stab at its arms as it's pulling out.
Wait, so all of this is just going to happen inside the bubble?
Yes.
Well, crap. All of my stuff requires an army.
I didn't say the bubble was going to last.
Fair enough, I
As
guess.
your blade strikes against its hands and just seems to slide off the metal for a moment. Almost like it's rippling, like it isn't all there yet. As it draws itself out, and it lets out an ear-splitting roar. Nevis and Adamant, please make a willpower roll for you two.
Alright, so just straight up roll as many dice as how much willpower I have?
Yes, correct.
Oh, got an exploder.
All right, both of you succeed on this roll. As Nevis and Adamant, you both are awash in a vision of you two together. Except you are seeing, from your guys' perspective, the faces of the shadows that you guys have been training with for these last few months. Adamant, you are a great builder and designer of some of the greatest artifacts of the First Age. While Nevis, you are one of the greatest commanders, leading an army in battle stances that have since been lost to this world that were considered utterly invulnerable and unstoppable. And together you two faced a creature that was inimical to creation, that its very presence unmade it and everything attached to creation. People, places, concepts. And it was you two working together along with your army that was able to bind the creature and then impale it and trap it before forcing it into a shell of moonsilver. Adamant's past self crafting this shell around it as Nevis hollowed out its insides by taking on tiny little forms like mice and insects to slowly but surely hollow it out. And you two were the creators of this creature, this abomination, this war strider that now stands before you. A being of intense hatred and rage that bonds with whoever is within the cockpits. It was the only way to trap this creature. It could not die. But you
no,
had-
we didn't create the creature. We just trapped it away into something slightly less dangerous.
Yes,
And
you
we couldn't have welded the cockpit shut.
it needs to be bound to something to keep it under control. There needs to be someone in the cockpit to control it, otherwise it will try to take over the suit itself.
We had to give it arms and legs. We couldn't just make it a little ball.
The problem is that it is
You needed to give it form.
yes, you need to trap it in a form that it couldn't escape. Even then it was extremely difficult because it's analytical to creation.
Antithetical?
Yes, it unmakes creation just by its presence. But you have another vision as all this is happening. And you see during the usurpation, betrayal, rage, as the dragon bloods betray you and turn on you and your brethren and start trying to kill you all.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But not just that, as you two are fighting back to back, putting your all slaying scores upon scores of dragon bloods. It never seems to end as just more and more just keep throwing themselves on your blades, trying to get you and bring you down by sheer force of numbers. Eventually, though, it happens. And as you fall, though, you can see the Kavara, the war strider that you had designed. The pilot had been killed, and you can see some of the dragon bloods dragging a child, your son, to the machine and throwing it in. And as you pass away, you can see strands of flesh lashing out and wrapping around him before everything goes dark. And now you're back as Kavara lets out a massive ear-splitting roar. Let's roll initiative, everybody. I need to get that set up. Boop.
So I have +1 success on this, so I'm going to roll and then just add that.
Okay, combat tracker is up.
So initiative
Can we
calculation
add-
is
Wits plus awareness.
And then add 3.
And this is join battle, right?
Yep.
so you just add 3 as a flat number, or you add 3 dice?
You add
Flat number.
3 as a flat number. 3 successes, basically.
And 1 don't subtract, correct?
Correct.
So that'd be a 4, I think, for mine.
I will activate both Unwavering Predator's Eye and... Oh, wait, no, that's a permanent one. So, I always get that. So I'll
10's counted
activate...
too.
Eric, how do you have 10 for this? Do you have max wits and max awareness?
I have mine noted as 9 plus 1. I have 4 wits, 5 awareness.
And adding flashing vengeance.
Yeah, I'm adding. I think it's is it fast reflex? I think it was one of my merits, and I'm adding into that.
Yes.
And 10s count twice, correct?
Yep.
Okay, I see how it is. So yeah, I'm activating Unwavering Predator's Eye and Wolf Eye Advantage.
Okay.
Into 7 and up, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Really? Both of the conditions for those did not trigger? Well, maybe it will.
That's
I need
slow
rerolls.
roll to the 10.
Yeah. Basically,
Dramatic.
Wolf Eye Advantage lets me re-roll all ones until they cease to appear. And Unwavering Predator's Eye lets me double 9s. Alright, so...
A lot of dice.
Don't forget to put in your total of successes, 7 and above, and add the 3 for Timmy.
Well, I guess I might as well activate Fog Raising Gesture. Is my initiative above the enemies?
I'm getting everyone set up real quick.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I don't have anything for initiative, so
I picked up some perception charms.
I have some too, but mine are more for things we can't see.
All right,
Mine apply to
so
both.
everyone double check the combat tracker, make sure everything is right.
Yep. Dang it.
Sadly, yes. Even I must roll bad one day.
All right, Varric, yes, you are above initiative for this creature.
Nice. So what the hell was that mistrouting thing do?
Nevis, you get to go first.
Alrighty. Nevis will let out a roar of anger. And... well, I assume this thing is way too massive for me to really, introduce my spear to its face from the ground. So can I climb it?
You can try to, yeah.
Okay. Or...
How close is it?
I mean, Nevis
Close
would
range.
be right next to it, so... because he was right there, trying to stab at its hand.
Yep, you guys can all get into range to attack it on your turn.
Well, actually, I have 2 ranks of Quicksilver Second Face, so I can shapeshift outside of turn. So I would like to take that to respond to him attempting to climb it by shifting to one of my forms, which is Peregrine Falcon.
That's fine, you turn into a falcon.
Alright, so athletics, right?
Plus dex.
Alright. And I've got a specialty for parkour. I'm sure that would apply.
Parkour, you shouted!
So yes,
The
Nevis,
ancient battle cry.
and that's plus 3 dice.
Yes.
Alright, so Nevis is jumping onto the thing's leg or arm, whatever is closest available, and charging, running up forward towards its face to introduce his spear to it.
I just realized I'm at the very bottom of the order. Ah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 9.
You bound nimbly up it, moving gracefully, even as it tries to bring its hand and knock you off. You just bound over it and continue running up its arm right towards its head. You may make your attack.
Like a cat casually walking up the wall.
Yeah, basically. Except a Martin. Because Martins are better at climbing.
Oh my god.
And that is what I am, so you know.
The 300-pound Martin in plate mail, yes.
Yes, yes. Alright, I am charging up, going for one of the, it's got eye sockets, right? Yes, yes.
Yes, it does.
He's going for one of those, ramming his spear forward with another cry of anger. He is gonna bring this thing down. As soon as I remember how to do the attack.
Withering or decisive attack?
Probably the Withering is the one that reduces them down initiative.
Their
right?
initiative.
Then that.
Yep. Okay.
So Dex plus melee.
Plus weapon accuracy.
Yes. So, and I've got a specialty for pole arms.
Plus 3.
So 15 dice.
That's only a few.
Oh, and I will activate. What was it? Finding the Needle's Eye, right? Yes. Activating Finding the Needle's Eye. Feels appropriate for, trying to stab it into the eye of this thing. Alright, I get to reroll higher
very
of
nice.
essence or 3 ones on an attack roll, and he has a -1 penalty on the defense. So there's 1 there. Do I get to reroll 10s?
Yes.
Oh no, it begins.
Let's see.
It was almost a 1.
2. $14.
Yeah, that's way higher than his defense.
Oh my god.
So what is your weapon's accuracy?
Also, did I get any, what are they called? The bonus dice?
Not yet. I didn't think you needed it yet.
I was gonna say, you don't really need that.
Well, hey, I'm still,
Um,
might as well.
Oh shit.
My weapon's accuracy is +2.
I just realized there's another
Sorry,
gap in my
weapon
character
damage,
sheet,
weapon
son of a
damage.
bitch.
Oh, weapon damage is +9.
What's your strength?
I thought it was based on my dex.
Weapon damage is always off of strength, not dex.
2.
Okay. +7, so 9 plus 2 plus 7.
Where do you get the 7?
Or what's your weapons or because you rolled 7 higher than his
Oh.
so you get to add that on to your damage.
So 18 dice?
You get to roll 3 dice.
3?
Yep. Or what's your overwhelming of your weapon real quick? Double check.
1.
Yep, you get to roll 3 dice. So, real quick, whenever you hit someone with a withering attack, sorry, excuse me, wow. Whenever you hit someone with a withering attack, you get to add all of your dice up, and then you subtract their soak from it, and that's how many dice you get to roll for damage. His soak is 15.
Okay, what else do I have here?
He is easy to hit, difficult to hurt. He's made of basically solid moon silver.
Ah. Trying to remind myself what all I've got here.
Oh, hang on a second. I need to check something.
For the record, and I will activate this as well, I do have spider climbing attitude.
Okay.
So I can very easily maintain my grip on this thing.
Okay. Just not going to use that. Okay, not yet.
Okay, so I don't think I've got anything. Do remember that he had a -1 to his defense.
Yep, I added that in.
Okay.
That doesn't affect soak, that just affects hitting him.
Do I reroll 10s?
Yes. Yes, for withering attacks you do.
The ones do not subtract, right?
Not from damage, no.
Cool. So, 2?
Yep, and you will gain 3 initiative.
Ha-ha! Parkour!
As you are able to bound up, climb on, and drive spear towards its side, though it's able to turn its head, and your spear just kind of scrapes by a little bit along its head.
And I will be done with my turn. And yeah, I'm just staying up there. Easily
Varric, it is
hanging
your
on
go.
to its cheek to stab at its eye again.
I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do here. This is a big critter. Well, I guess I'm going to activate Ebon Shadow form.
Okay, quick note real quick. Nevis and Adamant, you know where the fuselage is, where the pilot would be. It's in the center of the chest. The chest opens up in order to let the pilot get in.
Can you inform us of this?
Nevis would not inform you because... Oh, you did not add my initiative, by the way.
Oh,
I'm still at 11. But
see,
yeah.
unfortunately, my initiative is so fucking low that I have to wait for everybody else to do stuff.
Fair enough.
Were I to have such an opening, I would say, we'll keep it distracted, you go for the chest, but...
Yeah, but it's also our, child from a previous time in there.
Uh-huh.
At least try to detach him. All right, well, and also...
Here's the thing. I'm the one who designed it. I know how fucking durable that thing is.
Great.
So that...
Good job.
So I know that...
There are gambits available that you can attempt to make in order to open the fuselage and get in at the pilot.
Good to know. So I can use can I use a reflexive charm as well as a simple?
Yes.
Okay. So Varric will start flickering and seems to be moving without actually moving as he activates his Ebon Shadow form. And at the same time, given that we're going to be doing some climbing here, going to activate Graceful Crane Stance as well.
Yes! Graceful Crane Stance!
You're going to be able to leap up tall buildings in a single bound, etc., etc. Do I have to roll anything for those?
Wait, is the Graceful Crane Stance different for Lunars than it is for Solars?
Nope, it's the same thing. It is actually one of the very few charms that is shared among them.
Oh, it's just that you can be on surfaces too narrow or weak to support you. I'm not sure it would actually help on this, but...
No,
It
run on
allows
guide
perfect
wire.
balance and walking.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
get around things without having to
Whenever
roll.
something's trying to move, it would get rid of any penalties.
Okay.
Because it is going to be trying to knock you off on its turn.
Do I have to roll to enter stealth? My
Make a stealth plus dex roll for me.
Don't forget about your armor.
Yep.
Your stealth armor.
well, without my stealth armor, what?
Don't forget it.
Ah, right. Oh yeah. I can just activate that. And I also have the fog raising gesture is currently active as well.
Okay.
So opposing -3 penalty on visual awareness checks.
Reroll those 10s.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You are able to enter stealth.
Yay! Good. And I think that's all I can do this turn. Is it not?
Yep.
Okay.
So you just, as you begin to bound up it, you just vanish from sight.
Poof.
Zusha, it is your turn.
Is anybody telling me where to aim, or
I don't think we can
or
yet.
where not to
When I
hit?
have had the window to actually shout those instructions, we'll keep
I
it
would-
distracted. You go for the chest.
I would allow you to, yes.
Well, guess we're very exciting then.
So I'm guessing that I'm going to hit it in the neck area. So I don't hit the chest. With Phantom Arrow Technique, which has Adamant Arrow Technique.
I taught him that.
This will be real helpful. And this is unblockable.
That's your attack against him.
Yep.
I will be right back.
That will not hit him.
Wait, what? It's just, is it blinking off, or is he actually dodging this arrow?
One of its arms moves up and just kind of bats it aside.
Oh yeah, so
Okay.
it's a
When it-
deflection.
When it gets hit by the... When it hits the arm, though, Adamant Arrow Technique, the arrow gets stuck.
Oh, yeah, I will allow that because he's using his arm to deflect it. And he's basically a source of terrain.
Such arrows can be moved by cutting away at the base to which they have landed. Tree can be cut down, a wall still can be reduced by rubble, but the arrow will remain involatile. Only the solar who fired this arrow, or one blessed with her permission, may remove it from its resting place. Its hand is stuck.
So the hand is like frozen in the air.
Oh, no. This arm is bigger. This hand is bigger than you. You have a very small arrow embedded in its hand.
Yeah.
You can use it as a climbing point, though.
Okay.
Or for
But it's immobile from this point in space.
So it's like a rod of unmoving thing.
Yes.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
I'll allow it since it used its hand to block it. I'll allow it.
And that's my turn.
Confused robot noises.
All
How
right.
many more of those
Gets
does he
its
have? We can just pin the thing.
Well, before it takes its action, it gets its devastating action. So, everyone, I need to know what... Give me a second, I need to look at this real quick. It will activate this ability. What's your guys' resolve? There should be a thing that tells you what your resolve is.
My resolve was never calculated. That was the part of the sheet that's still blank. My health and defense area is blank.
So resolve is wits plus integrity divided by 2, rounded up.
Alright, give me a second.
It's integrity.
That is a skill.
Oh, right. Okay.
What's integrity? This is Tylem's autobiography.
My resolve is 3.
2. This is gonna suck.
That's 2, that's 3.
We
Right,
got
that's 4.
integrity
Resolve of 4.
firms. What was integrity again?
One of your ability scores, or one of your abilities.
No, I
Yeah,
mean
my wits-
resolve. Sorry.
Yeah, my wits plus integrity is 7, so divide by 2 and round up, that's 4, right?
Yep.
I've got 3.
Make sure you guys write that down. There should be a little spot for it.
Bottom of the character sheet.
Bottom of page 1 on the right.
Yep.
And unless this has an intimacy linked,
Do any of you have charms against fear effects?
Give me a moment.
Does this count as magic?
Yes, this counts as magic.
Nope.
I don't think I have
do.
that, but what about intimacies?
You can channel an intimacy to get a bonus to your dice pool.
Okay.
If it is applicable to the situation at hand, depending on the intimacy channel, the stronger it is, the more points you get.
It's a minor intimacy, but I will protect the innocent. And well, my former soul's child is innocent in there, so he's got a lot of resolve to take this thing down.
I also have harm to civilians as a minor intimacy.
Okay.
And, well, Beastman protection, but I don't think that would count here, would it?
No, but this is your child, though. Or it was your child.
So if it qualifies under the protection one, that's actually a major intimacy.
Okay, so that'd be a +2 if it's a major. What is
A
your...
total of 6. That's 4 plus 2.
So we're rolling our resolve plus whatever else bonuses we have against fear.
No, this will just add on.
Okay.
Okay, so... who has 6 or higher with their resolve with any bonuses?
I do.
How many do the intimacies add?
What's the intimacy level?
Minor.
Minor is a +1.
Then I would have a 4.
my solar circle is an intimacy. Does that count?
I would let you do that here. You're trying to protect your people.
Okay.
I just have my 3.
So yes, I'm above 6.
Alright, so... Zusha and Adamant. As this beast lets out a roar, pure panic and terror washes through you. But you're able to push it away. You're able to hold on against the fear, even as the others feel blinding terror coursing through you all. Everyone who failed the roll, you have a choice. You can either flee and run from this beast as fast as you can, or you can spend 3 points of willpower in order to remain in the area. and to fight back against your fear, but you will suffer -3 penalty against anything you do against this thing.
Damn. Well, obviously not going to run away.
I'm going to use the. One sec, double checking the name. Spirit Maintain and Maneuver. I am able to pay motes instead of willpower.
Okay?
Question.
Yes.
Would I know whether or not this thing is immune to fear itself?
It would be yes.
Alright.
The pilot, probably not so much.
Well, the pilot controls it, so therefore.
Correct. Well, technically for this one, in this case, it's actually being sort of dual piloted by both Kavara and the pilot. Alright, that is that turn, and now it gets its attack. And it is going to go for the person who tried to freaking stab it in the eye!
Hey, wait a minute. Its order is dropped below mine?
It's still going on its turn. It had to spend initiative in order to use its ability.
Okay, fair enough.
It's still its turn, though. Let me just double check this. Yeah, it would go for that against you. Because one of its hands is currently down and stuck, but that's not that big of a deal to it. So it's gonna try and bite you.
I had stepped away for a moment. I did specify that I'm hanging on to its cheek.
Yeah, it's trying to fling you to bite you.
And
What is your defense?
I have my spider climbing attitude still active.
Okay.
I am able to maintain my grip on sheer vertical surfaces or even upside down on horizontal surfaces like ceilings.
Okay.
Just, to toss that out there. I don't know if that gives bonuses.
You don't take any penalties for it trying to fling you around. You're able to just basically stick to it. But what is your defense?
My total defense would be...
It can be either parry or dodge.
We'll do parry, which would be melee, so 5 plus my dex.
Yep. Plus
So-
specialty, divide by 2.
Oh, plus specialty divided by 2. So then 10 plus 3, so 13 divided by 2. 6.5.
Round up. 7. So, it flings you to the side, and its teeth come crashing down towards you before you're able to get your spear up, and it jabs between its jaws, keeping them open before you bound away back onto its cheek and get away from its teeth before they slam shut.
Wait, what happened to his spear then?
He has it in his hand still.
Okay.
Basically, when he pulled back to get away, he pulled the spear out with him and dodged it. Fabian, it is your turn.
I am going to use both graceful crane stance and monkey leap technique to jump up onto it.
Okay, you are able to do that without a roll, because Monkey Leap Techniques allows you to jump to its level.
And then I'm going to... Did they tell us about the hatch?
Yes.
I'm going to try open that.
That is going to be a gambit.
Alrighty.
Let me jump back up real quick, because I actually have it right here in the book for how that gambit works. Combat. Ah, here it is. That is... okay, so quick thing real quick. This difficulty, it would be a difficulty 9 roll to do. You would need 9 successes rolling your initiative in order to try to pierce the frame. In character, you basically can see how thick the armor is. You would need to get it a little bit off balance and find the perfect spot in order to try to pierce it with your weapon or pry it open.
Would it be an extended gambit also?
No. If you succeed on the breach frame gambit, you're able to pry it open, and for the rest of the scene, anyone could attack the pilot or see them. You basically open the chest.
Okay, then I'm going to take the wooden sheets off of my loot, revealing the blades, and I'm going to try to hit it.
Go for it.
Sorry, just double checking my thing. Three.
That will not hit the creature, as your sword strikes and just goes right off the metal without actually damaging it.
I blame the ones.
And Adamant, it is your turn.
Hey. Now, cinematic is rewarded, correct? Because I have
Yes.
a whole thing here. Because
Go for it.
Adamant wasn't just sitting around doing nothing. There's a reason why it took her a moment to engage. She was circling and finding the perfect opening. I'm spending 6 motes using perfected hybrid transformation to get both wings and claws, because I positioned myself above the why can't I remember its name?
The War Strider?
The War Strider, thank you. Oh yeah, duh, it's right there on the combat tracker. Shifting, using that to have the claws and wings, using the claws to attempt to grapple its face, and with my rapier in the hand that is the side of the good eye, attempt to stab it in the eye while flattening my wings against its face to block its vision.
Ooh, oh, oh. That is a gambit right there. But I am going to allow it. Alright, Adamant, make your attack against this thing first. I will have this treated as a flurry.
Okay, and what would be the calculation for that? For how many dice?
It will be your dexterity plus your melee plus your accuracy.
So that's dexterity of 5, plus melee of only 1,
Would
plus
this also
accuracy
be a
of
stunt?
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What?
Would this be a stunt?
Yes, I'm going to add that in.
Okay.
Alright,
Once-
so wait till after the dice, then you add the stunt?
No, you get to add 2 dice to your dice pool. And you have 1 automatic success.
The automatic success just added on the side, or can I replace the dice with it?
No. It's basically considered a dice that you don't have to roll that rolled a 7 or higher. Automatic successes are good.
There's
Jeez,
so
you
many
give
ones.
her a stunt for this, but I don't get one for climbing up the thing and...
Why are there so many ones? Ones are bad.
Always spend the willpower.
You can spend a
Well, what is
willpower to reroll.
Reroll all of them?
Yes,
How many dice was it? It was 12?
12.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh boy. Come on. Please don't screw me. Yes. Okay. Oh, come on. That's 1, 2, 3.
Roll that 10.
Damn it. Alright, so it's 1, 2,
With
3, 4, 5, 6. 7 is the cutoff, right?
yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4. So it's 4 is what this ended up coming out as.
Plus
Wait, no,
your
no, plus one,
automatic
plus one.
success.
That came out
And
as 5.
due to that automatic success that you got, because of your stunt, you are able to hit it. Roll strength plus your weapon damage, please.
Oh boy. Weapon damage. 6, 7.
Or, sorry.
1,
What is
2.
your strength? Wait, sorry. What is your strength plus your weapon damage?
Weapon damage is 7, strength is 2, so that'd be 9.
You roll 1 dice. Or sorry, you roll 2 dice.
It is a
Because you-
piercing weapon.
Oh, that's right. Hang on.
And would the eye be considered a weak point?
No, yeah, it's not going to lower it down enough for it to matter here. So you will
Yeah.
only roll 2 dice for your overwhelming.
So just 2 dice here?
Mm-hmm. That's 2 successes, though. You will gain 3 initiative. And he will not go into initiative break. He will stay at 1 initiative. Because of one of the abilities War Striders have against people like you.
People like you.
So War Striders cannot be pushed into initiative break unless the attack that hits them deals 10 or more damage after their soak. So you have to roll at least 25 dice of damage before the soak takes off 15 in order to knock it down into
Since
initiative
I have
break.
a sword that's lodged in its eye, and I have the falcon talons, would that be considered to be a advantage on grapple for him trying to knock me loose?
I would give you bonuses, yes. However, you are now able to make your gambit.
I have no idea what that is.
Roll your initiative.
Before or after the bonus?
There will not be a bonus here. Just roll your initiative straight up.
Because my initiative is currently at 7 because of the bonus I just acquired.
Yes, you will roll that. You'll roll the 7. Ones do not subtract from this.
So that's 3.
Plus your bonus due to the wings. I will give you that. What's the difficulty for this gambit? You succeed! So, as you flare your wings and block it, the War Strider is now considered effectively blind. It will suffer a -3 penalty on all actions that depend on vision for as long as you maintain this blockage.
I should end my turn, shouldn't I? Bloop.
Alright, it's going to go back to Nevis. It is your turn. As you see Adamant just fly down, jam their blade into its other eye, and then flare their wings out in order to blind this thing.
All right. Well, first off, I'm going to reuse Spider Climbing Attitude because, you know, I kind of need that for right now.
Remember, you regain 5 motes of essence
I know.
at the start of your turn. Okay, making sure.
I got to figure out how many motes I've already used because I've used a few. But I'll figure that out. I know I've got enough for what I want to do here. Seeing as how the eyes are taken care of, at least for now, Nevis is going to kind of slide down the thing and then grab back on once he gets to the chest cavity, jamming his spear into it and trying to get it open. However, he can accomplish this.
All right, so for this, I'm going to need an attack roll from you.
Would a disarm gambit help on this?
No. This is a specific kind of gambit. This is called a, I got the name. A breach frame gambit is what it's called.
Okay. He is going to have Martokio, who, as always, is on his shoulders, except for when I use him, come out to assist, digging the claws in to try and get it out. Basically, he's slamming the spear into the gap, and Martokio's going down the shaft of the spear and gripping its claws in there to try and get it open as well.
Okay. All right, make your attack roll against it.
Alright.
And remember, you have the -3, so that's just going to take away your specialty.
Blah.
But you can pump essence into your attack, remember.
How does that work again?
1 mote per extra die you get. Up to a max of your dex plus melee. So you can get up to 10 extra dice for you. If you want to blow 10 motes, you get 10 extra dice.
Why not? So that would be dex
20
plus
dice.
melee. It's a 20 plus. Don't I have another?
Your specialty will cancel out the penalty that it's putting on you.
Don't I get a +2 from the spear?
Oh, yes, that's right.
And I will also be using Finding the Needle's Eye.
To lower its defense.
And let me re-roll ones.
Okay. Also, you get 2 bonus dice and a free automatic success for your stunt, because I like that, and I think that's really cool.
Alright. So 22...
24 dice, please. Welcome, everyone, to Exalted, where you will never have enough dice.
Unless you're playing digital. Okay, I can re-roll up to 3 of those ones.
Oh my fucking god. This is specifically rolling to just rip its chest open?
Yes. Alright, we
Yes.
got 3 10s. Oh wait, no. Another 10 from re-rolling one of the ones. Re-roll that. Okay, let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then... Okay, so 2 of those ones count for subtracting. So we are at 13. Then 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
That will hit.
20 because of the extra success.
Please roll 30 dice of for your gambit.
Oh my god.
I'm just gonna do this in 2 batches.
Oh my fucking god. Stop, he's
Do I
already
roll
dead.
10s? I forget.
No, not on this.
Okay. They still count as 2, right?
Yep.
And 1s do not subtract on this one.
Oh, sorry. 10s will double, 1s do not subtract, though.
Okay. So there's that. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
As you drive
Martokio
your
as well.
spear, as you drive your spear into its chest, you give it a twist as Martokio helps to burrow in, and they're able to hit the button within, thanks to the hole that you made as the chest plate hisses open and spreads open, revealing a fleshy interior where you can see what looks like a young boy wrapped up in muscular sinews around his limbs, and it's almost growing over most of his body. As
Nevis
he
is going
lets
to
out
swing
a
himself in.
Okay, as he lets out a shriek.
It's okay!
And-
I am here to save you!
Kavara
We're being rescued. Do not
the
resist.
exact same shriek. Nevis, as you flip in, though, you can see this boy's eyes are mad with rage, terror, and madness. Varric, it is your turn.
See, this is why we should have hired a nanny.
You can take a guess, Nevis, with your past memories that this is Karava's madness leaking into him because
It
they're
gains
bonded together.
infinities.
All right. Are there any external hoses or anything that I can see that can potentially be disconnected or cut?
Not really. You could probably try to disable one of its arms or legs in the joints, but the chest plate is now open.
Right. I'm just not entirely sure what to do about that.
Actually, would he even know who that is that's in the cockpit?
Nope.
Yeah, I was gonna say I doubt it. I'm really at a loss for what to do. I don't want to kill the guy.
You could try to cut him free.
Yeah, let's go for it.
And again, to be fair, would you know this is someone you're not supposed to... Oh, no, actually, Nevis just shouted, you're being rescued, so...
Yeah.
True. Okay.
Yeah. Also, it's clear that once you do see it, that Kuvara is basically trying to assimilate this kid.
Hmm.
It's growing over him.
We can't have that. So I guess I'll make my way up, clambering up on the, pushing through my fear, making my way up onto join Nevis up on the chest plate. And
Yep, you are able to get inside, and you can see this boy. All of his movements that he makes are mirrored by Kuvara from the strands that he is pulling whenever he moves his body.
You said one of his arms was stuck earlier?
You know, I just
Yes.
realized one of the charms I have could have helped me out earlier. I literally, with 3 motes, cannot be moved by any force.
That's cool.
Oh my god. Which means you could just grab his other hand and then activate that ability, and now he's completely immobilized
Now,
and blinded.
it won't stop me from falling, but, I drag his hand to the ground and hold it there.
Yeah, and then we just perform an autopsy, or a biopsy.
Speaking of biopsy, I'm going to look at the arm that isn't currently stuck in the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to attempt to use Mistcutter to cut through the strands that are binding him to the machine.
Okay. That will be a gambit, so that will be a decisive attack against him.
Okie dokie.
Quick
let me
question: Would a failure on this have a chance of actually cutting the child's arm itself, rather than just the
Yes.
tendons holding him?
If he failed the roll.
Right. Hang on 1 second. We look through my charms and see what I got today.
But you still can use willpower to reroll your roll.
Yep.
Yes, I have 4 of those left. Okay, I got
By
one.
the way, I just want to congratulate you guys for doing the very intelligent thing and not trying to fight Kavara itself, because that would end very badly for you guys.
To be fair, I am staying in character. I wouldn't want to attack the pilot directly, so incapacitation.
Oh no, that was quite good considering you blinded him right now, and he cannot see anything, which is a huge penalty to his defense. As long as you maintain that. It's just a matter of Kuvara is not going to be happy, and when Kuvara is not happy, things die.
I'm just worried about what's going to happen when we remove the pilot.
You have some time. It's going to be the voice of the apocalypse I'm worried about. Oh, he can't use it!
Hey, come to think of it, I know the perfect pilot.
I guess Umbra Noose wouldn't be useful in this particular.
What does it do?
For unexpected attacks, unleash a decisive attack that warps the enemy's shadow into razor-thin chain and coils around Master's neck. That's not really applicable here.
I mean... No, not here. You are unexpected, though.
Okay. I'm thinking... Leaping Tiger attack. So
Unless the shadow is able to assist you.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Distraction
stunts.
gambit.
If you stunt it well enough, I will allow you to use the charm, even if it doesn't necessarily work for it.
Okay. Think for a second here.
This is a game where you are encouraged to argue for random advantages with the DM.
Mm-hmm. Yep. If it is cool and badass, I will allow it.
Such as, becoming a face mask. He wasn't practicing social distancing. I had to put a mask on him.
Okay, let's give that a shot then. So, looking into the depths of this creature machine, Varric notices several shadows that are stretching from the cable, the organic cabling that is attaching his leg to the the tower, and summoning up all of his effort, he tries to will those shadows to obey him and to coil around the
wire itself and cut through it.
Yeah, the edge where it kind of reaches, where it melds into the rest of the fleshy machine. And on top of that, he leaps like a tiger to attempt to cut at the base.
I will allow that. That is how you stunt, good sir. I will allow you to use those charms.
Sweet. So, leaping tiger. And I think I'm doing a decisive, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
This would be a gambit.
Right.
So
adds score to base damage. So when we get there, you see higher initiative of the opponent. Okay, and then Umber Noose is for unexpected. Adds number of dice equal to total successes received on a stealth roll to the raw damage of the attack. So it's all damage stuff. Okay, that's fine. How many dice am I doing here then?
You will roll your Dex plus martial arts plus accuracy of your weapon.
Okay. So that
and his defense is set to 0 because you are invisible right now and he does not see you.
Okay, so 13. Not bad, not bad. Subtract 1?
Yep, and then re-roll the 10s.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. Oh. So 7.
That will hit.
Yay.
So roll 18 dice for me plus, what do the other charms do?
Let me see. Hang on a second. So for raw damage, go back to this. Okay, so Umbra Noose is add number of dice equal to the total successes received on stealth roll to the raw damage.
So you rolled 7 on your stealth earlier.
Okay. To max of essence times 2, but mastery. Hang on a second. Next 5 motes, the opponent. To a max of essence times 2, so that's only 6.
Okay.
So 6 additional, so that's 7 plus. Wait, 7? No, 6. 6 plus the 13, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's 19. And then Leaping Tiger adds essence score to base damage, so plus another 3.
Okay. Roll
22.
roll 22 dice.
Oops. Hang on. How do I subtract from them? Shift right click?
You have to
I'm
just
not
drop
sure.
the dice.
Okay. Ignore that.
We don't see it unless it's in the chat.
Oh, good. Okay. There we go. 22. Oh man, lots of low numbers there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I believe, let me double check. That's against his arm.
Actually, I didn't think about we were rolling that.
7 because double 10.
Ah, yes, thank you.
Give me just 1 second. Was it against his arm or his leg?
Against his arm that was not currently immobilized.
That will succeed! As you bound forward, the shadows cutting through the strand that's closest to his arm, and your own blade just shearing through the top part where it's connected to the frame itself. You can hear, it's not the kid screaming out this time, but just the War Strider itself, Kuvara, roaring. Not in pain, but in rage. It knows what you're doing, and it is pissed.
Well, that's just too bad for it. I think that's my turn.
All right. Adamant, it is your turn.
So would the familial tie count as an intimacy?
I could count that as a minor one, yes.
Give me a moment. So I'm thinking about using Beast King Dictates and Charismatic Lunar Trick to attempt to inspire the pilot to fight back against it.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. Go for it.
So while twisting the rapier in the eye socket, knowing that the cockpit's open, I shout down to him, "The pilot commands the War Strider, not the other way around."
Ooh, make your roll. Make your roll.
Nice.
I will give you +2 bonus dice and 1 automatic success for this. I like it. I like it.
So that would be manipulation and what else? Or is it charisma? I don't.
It's your choice. I will allow your choice for that.
Well, charisma's
plus
5, manipulation's
presence.
only 3, so.
I'll let you do charisma. You seem like you're trying to be. You're not trying to like manipulate them against their will necessarily. You're trying to inspire them.
Yeah, I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth. The pilot
Yes.
commands. So that's charisma plus what?
Charisma plus presence plus any specialties you have.
Oh no. 3, 4. Well, let's just do the base for that first. Alright, no 10s. Alright, but Beast King Dictates allows me to re-roll 3 or Essence, whichever's No, okay, just reroll 3 in this case. Because I'm going to try double 9s.
So 9s
and
count as 10s.
So there is a 9 in there.
So you will re-roll that 9. And it will count as 2.
There's another 9.
So re-roll that one. Double 8s and double 9s are so good.
And then I get plus X intimacy. So since it's a minor intimacy, that means 1 more dice.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. So that negated itself.
You did get your bonus plus 2 dice, right, for your stunt?
I did not.
Roll those.
God damn it. They canceled each other
That's
out.
9. No, that's
9.
9. That counts as 2.
Oh,
Roll
oh
again.
no. Oh no. What the dice?
Well done.
It's fighting back against me. It's resisting. Stop resisting.
Kavara is trying to warp space and time to prevent you from doing this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Oh, wait,
8, 9.
wait. Beast King dictates I get to re-roll 3 of these dice.
Oh, go for it!
I'm re-rolling 3 of those. All 3 of those. Well, there's 4 ones in total, but I'm re-rolling 3
Yep.
of them.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, what?
Oh,
Stop
but the spring is
resisting.
the one.
Better
Those
enough.
ones don't subtract anymore. So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You got 10 successes on that. That is a successful instill action right there.
Would the
Nice.
sword do any damage? Because I'm twisting it in the eye socket. So
No, that's just basically keeping it blind for another round.
got it. All right, I think that's my turn spent. Let me add up how many motes I just spent there.
Well done, well done. By the way, outside of the mech, you guys see its other arm just drop. Like someone just literally just cut a string holding it up, and it just dropped uselessly to its side. And inside, Nevis and Varric, you guys can see the child stop, and you can see the madness start to recede a little bit, and like lucidity slowly returning to his eyes a little bit. Zusha, it is your turn.
I'm not going to do anything as cool as that, but accuracy without distance, so I get an aim action, and that's my
Okay.
turn.
Okay. Fabian, it is your turn.
There's not much I can do, so I'm just gonna wait.
Okay. We have a very pissed off War Strider. And when I say very pissed off, I mean livid. It is currently blind right now, though, and both of its arms are useless, so it cannot claw at the moment. It's kind of just wanting to murder you all, though.
Well, we can stare angrily for all I care.
Let's
Away from the feet.
see. Chain breaking. God, got both this. Luckily, Kavara right now cannot make decisive attacks because he only has 1 initiative. Let's see what he has real quick, though, that he would use here.
Just flabbergasted at just how many ones kept coming up. It was warping space and time to fight back.
Can't use that quite yet. Doesn't have the initiative to activate it. It's not that. So I can't use that. God damn it, what can it use? Why can't you just try to attack it? I have many things for if you attack it.
That's the idea.
Because it's
I mean-
a War Strider.
How many encounters have you planned for us where our all of your plans were thrown out the window.
No, I'm not.
Zombie army all over again.
All of them?
I'm not like angry because this is the way you have to fight Kavara, because if you don't fight Kavara this way, it's going to probably end badly. You guys are doing the right thing. You guys are doing the intelligence thing. I'm proud of you. Because if you did go after Kavara, it can regenerate any damage you guys do to it once per battle. And then once you kill it, it comes back again with full HP and tries to kill you again.
Oh, man.
Yeah, well, good luck regenerating while the sword's still in your eye.
It has an ability of negating any physical attacks against it and unmaking any weapon used against it if they're not artifacts. And if you try to use a physical attack, you lose that limb.
Oh, come on. Antimatter field?
Yup.
Well, good thing
But-
that I'm just holding on to its face, not attempting to damage its face.
It's
Leave
a
it to me
creature
anyways,
of
the rapier.
anti-creation.
Its initiative is too low, so it can't use it.
Oh no!
It needs to spend 4 initiative to activate it, and it can't do that right now.
Adamant, let go. Are you kidding? There's teeth in the other end.
Yeah, it cannot use any of its charms here because none of them are really useful because no one's trying to hurt it. They're going for its pilot and it's pissed, but it can't really do much because both of its arms are down. So it can't use its destructive action for that because its arms are disabled because someone decided to do that. So it can't reach into its chest to try to grab Nevis or Varric. It's blind right now, so it can't see Zusha or Fabian to attack them. It can only try to make an attack against Adamant.
So just thrash its head, basically.
Pretty much, and try and throw you off into its jaws.
Unless it was to try to switch owners.
Nope. Can't do it.
You just had to double check your notes, didn't you?
Yep, I had to double check. Okay, so let's see. So it's blind because of that, so it has that penalty. So it only gets 11 dice instead of its normal 18.
And remember that I'm basically adhered to its face right now.
Yep, so it's going to try to fling you up. And of course it rolls a million once.
Stop resisting!
This was supposed to be a difficult encounter worth $100. Game, why? This isn't supposed to be this easy. I planned for a really big, hard fight. You were letting me down.
No plan
mean
survives contact
experience?
with the player.
Kavara, you're letting me down. I
No.
wanted something good and you're just not doing it, Kavara.
He doesn't. He's not talking about experience. He is talking about dollars because the reason Kuvara is popping up here is it was a $100 donation goal.
It was supposed to be a very hard fight, but we're like, tactical
Adamant, what's
destruction.
your defense?
How do I calculate that?
Dex plus either melee or dodge.
Oh no. That would be 10.
So divide by 2, 5. It does not hit you. As it tries to fling you up and drive its fangs into you, you're able to pull your legs up and avoid at the very last moment.
Nyek, nyek.
And it can't do any of that because that happens.
So all it can do is just sit there thrashing its head around trying to knock the bird loose.
Yep, because you guys did the smart things and kind of disabled it quite a bit. And it can't use that because its initiative is too low, so Nevis, it's your turn!
Hurry the fuck up down there!
Alrighty. So let's see. We got one arm and both legs still attached.
Yes.
I'm assuming I can only detach one per turn.
Yes, without like a stunt or something. Remember, stunting!
How close
But it says you can only
together-
do that. Think of it like someone standing normally.
Perfect. Martokio is going to go down, quickly find where the boy's legs are and where the the tendrils are. And Martokio is going to be working quickly to spread it open and point out a perfect hit point for Nevis to swing his spear through both at once.
I was sitting there waiting for he's gonna chew on it. I'm like, oh, you have no idea where that's been.
Go for it! Make your attack roll!
Oh god, how many dice? Also, I am using Finding the Needle's Eye again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, no, I'd be at... No, that's right. That's right. I really gotta remember this. So, 2 plus 5 plus 5. Plus 3. So, 15, right?
Remember to take off your -3 from Kavara's Sphere.
Except I'm not doing something against Kavara itself.
The fear effect remains for the entire scene, even if you're not going against him.
Damn.
Did you factor that in for attack?
You are currently in the guts of the thing that you're afraid of, so.
Well,
Ooh.
I can re-roll 3 1s, and there are 3 1s right there.
Nice.
Well, that still gets rid of the -3 you would have had. Reroll the 2 10s.
Alright, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
9,
8, 9, 10.
10. Huh.
And this is part of a stunt, so don't I get bonus for that?
Roll 2 dice and 1 automatic success.
Oh, okay. So 11.
So 11.
Roll 25 dice.
What?
Nice.
Oh my god.
Well, this is going well.
There's
Pours a
just something
bucket
about
out onto the table.
There's just something about Exalted when you get to roll a billion dice, and it feels so good.
Right, roll for damage. DM grabs a 5-gallon bucket.
Yes, that is a joke among Exalted fans. Ones do not subtract.
Everything goes into slow-mo as he just pours the entire bucket out over the players.
17.
That is enough! As you swing your blade.
You need to restart your headset again.
Oh.
Sorry.
As you swing your blade, it almost seems to catch on with like glimmering blue flames as it cuts through this creature's viney, muscly tendrils holding this boy and just severs them as though they weren't even a problem.
Is he connected by anything but limbs?
Just the one arm.
One arm left.
That's what I mean. Okay, anything but limbs, though.
Nope.
Okay, good. We're almost done.
Alright, I think that's it for Nevis.
Varric.
Well, seeing how much success he had with the first attempt, Varric is going to repeat the procedure, the surgical precision of grasping onto those shadows and willing them to coil around the tendrils that are attaching the boy's other arm. And with...
Note, this is no longer an unexpected attack. He knows you're there now.
True enough. Okay, so I can't use the new execution.
Mm-hmm.
I'd
Fair
like to
enough.
point out something. If he's controlling shadows, That would mean that at least to some degree that's a distanced attack, right? Which means
It's
that he
still
would need to
considered
be able
melee.
to see where he's at.
The boy can see it. Kuvara cannot.
Fair enough. But the boy's also resisting, so
He's actually grown a lot more calm after what you said,
Good. Nice.
which means he's not going to try to resist you cutting him loose as much. Kuvara will, but there's only so much Kuvara can do. Make
Okay.
your attack roll.
Yes, I guess I'm gonna try to do. Now, can a supplemental be used without a simple?
Yes, yes, it can. Because you're supplementing the action, not the charm.
And can I do? I can only do one supplemental.
Nope, you can use as many as you want, as long as you have the motes.
Okay. I am gonna keep track of my notes. I'll have to count that out. Hang on 1 second. Let me do my mote calculation real quick here. So I did that, which is 8. Did news, which is 5 and 1 willpower. I did leaping tiger, which is 4 and 1 willpower. Ooh, I am low on willpower. And 9, 17 subtracted from that. Okay, I got plenty of motes, not much willpower left. Okay, 7 points is 4 points. Okay, guess I'm just gonna try a 7 points of weakness.
Okay.
On the remaining tendrils that are attaching his arm. So Dex plus martial art.
Mm-hmm.
Now, since I have my specialization in Mist Carver, do I get any bonuses for that?
+3.
Oh, +3, nice. Okie dokie. Yeah, I think that's about all I got. Big money, big money. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6.
That will hit.
Oh, phew. And then, so we're doing how many for damage? What's 7 points of weakness do? Subtract stealth ability score from armor or soak of target.
All right, so roll
-5.
Roll 17 dice for your gambit.
Nice.
quick, completely unrelated question. What specifically is the difference between personal essence and peripheral essence?
Personal essence is essence inside of you. The other one is peripheral is outside.
What is what you can command, though?
You command both, but the peripheral shows your anima more.
I'm
Got
spending
it.
the willpower.
Okay.
Come on, come on, come on. Better, better. That's a little better. 1, 2, 3. Well, that's not better at all. Damn it. 3.
You want to spend a point of willpower to reroll?
What happens if I'm out of willpower?
Nothing?
All right, yeah, sure, why not? One more attempt. Damn, I'm just not doing it with these rolls. 4?
That is enough.
Oh, phew. Just enough.
As your blade shears through the bonding. I can talk. The muscle bonding this creature to the boy, and it lets out a shriek as its body begins to drop. The boy tumbling forward into Nevis's arms. And everyone, I need you all to make a willpower roll, please.
I've spent one willpower, so
No, but it's just your overall thing, not how many points you have left. You're okay.
I was a little worried too.
Yeah.
Not gonna tell Varric, no, it's not a big deal.
Oh no, that's the roll I needed. Wow, that's the roll I needed before.
So this will be what our starting willpower was, right?
Yes.
And reroll 10s?
Yep.
Count as 2?
Yep.
Can you spend a point of willpower to re-roll willpower?
Yes.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'm spending a point.
I will rest confident in my, roll of 2.
Oh
I
no.
can't hope for much better.
I says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6.
Hey, Fabian.
Hmm?
Do you have anything that helps against the madness or effects of the wild?
Yes.
You may activate these charms in response to this.
So I can't protect everyone else because that one requires an hour of preparation. I can only protect myself. Good luck, everyone.
Okay. Because as the last strand is cut off, the War Strider begins to fall to its knees. It throws back its head and lets out an ear-splitting roar, and reality itself seems to bend and crack. And
only dreams.
all of you rolled high enough, as reality itself seems to shatter around you. And as you guys and your companions in the ship appear in a swirling land of madness, where up is down, down is up, and oh, hey, look over on the left, it's purple.
While dispelling prana for a short distance, protection from wild.
As Zusha and Favian immediately throw out defenses against the wild's chaos as it begins to spread towards you guys, pushing it back before the eye sockets of the giant machine go dark. And you guys realize, hey, you guys are somehow now in the wild.
Oh,
This would be the perfect time for a little help.
that's hardly better.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'm rereading my thing. I can start to lead people through meditation, prayer, hymns, and chants. As long as I do so, they will gain rolls. My essence on rolls to resist effects of the wild.
Nice. Alright, you and Zusha together are able to keep everyone safe. And as this happens, the spear flag that had been placed begins to glow, and the shadow of Nevis's former self appears, lifting it up and letting out a soft whistle. I can't believe it.
Yeah, neither can we.
Nevis,
Sorry,
meanwhile, is holding the child. Not entirely certain what to do with him. Is he unconscious, or...?
He's out cold from
Okay.
that. Because he got cut loose from this thing's brain.
And how high are we?
Are we still considered to be in battle?
No.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to pull the rapier out, look right into that eye that's inches in front of me, Now you sit there and think about what you did.
You guys are currently on an upside down mountain.
Oh, boy.
I guess we're going to carefully make our way back down.
Except when you look up, you can see land, and if you look over the edge of the mountain, you see sky underneath you.
Oh.
It's like that one time I tried mushrooms.
But outside of basically about 50 feet from Zusha, everything begins to grow even more chaotic and insane. But right now, you're safe as long as you are here.
If people want, I will start playing my music to help calm them.
So the white
Nice.
bubble around us has collapsed, and now like the whole place is sitting in the wild somehow.
Yeah.
Okay, quick question. Where is our army and where is the airship?
They're about 20 feet away from you guys. They're within Zusha's field, so they're safe.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
And once Fabian starts to play, they do all calm down and get focused back on their tasks.
I will say that everyone who gains the benefit of this gains the principle that they will never interrupt a performance.
So, Nevis, your shadow looks at you. You saved my son from a fate probably worse than death.
You mean probably?
I mean, I guess he's kind of both of our son in some weird roundabout way, but yes.
And just, walking up next to him, wings still folding up. Oh, yeah, no, you did all by yourself, sure.
You all did it. And I'm thankful for that. We all are.
You're welcome.
He looks around a little bit. Looks like you guys are in the middle marches. This is gonna be hectic to try to get back, especially with the fair folk moving around, but he pauses and considers. There's a few things that we can offer. Our own weapons, our own old gear is still stored within this, along with our power.
We have a pretty potential personable person who could potentially assist. If you're catching my drift and a certain word.
I am, because of what you did, I'm willing, we all are, to offer our power and our old gear to you to carry on our legacy and save creation.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
You guys are going to be facing a Fairfolk army. I wish you luck. Before he lifts
I need
it
that too.
and bangs it down, as the spear flares and everything goes white for a moment. End of session. As I will need to give you guys your stuff, what you will get.
And we are perfectly fucked.
Did somebody say perfect? Oh, darlings, you should have told me that you were coming. Oh, dropping in so unannouncedly, so perfectly unannounced. Ah, people after my own heart. It's so good to see you again. How long has it been? 10 seconds? How did you deal with 10 seconds without my perfection?
And it is at this point that
Varric
Nevis
sighs.
turns his spear around and jabs it into his gut and starts dragging it across.
Oh, darling, as you're suddenly healed. No, I cannot allow such a thing to happen. Not to my dearly beloved.
I was honestly expecting just a cut to black as I said,
Okay.
perfectly fucked.
So, Geen, that is Domino. I don't think
Clockworker Jin.
A pleasure to make your acquaintance, my dear. I am Domino, the most perfect of all fair folk. I am pure perfection incarnate, but do not worry. You may bask in my presence, of course.
Yeah, Clockwork Jin. The way that we summon him is by saying the word perfect.
Did somebody say perfect? Oh, darling, I'm already here. You don't need to call me.
Why don't you explain what the fair folk are for the viewers?
So, okay. The fair folk in Exalted, creation is flat. Creation is basically an island in a sea of pure chaos and potential known as the wild. The fair folk are the natural denizens of the wild. The fair folk are basically pure chaos, and they are beings who they have no real creative ability. They can take things that they have seen before and make things out of it, but they have no true creativity. In order to maintain themselves within the chaos of the wilds, they need to tell stories. And they create identities for themselves, known as titles, from these stories. But they always have to have a conflict. They feed and thrive on conflict. Without conflict, they will fade away into the wild. So, by making himself Domino, Lord of Perfection, that is what he is and what he stands for in the wild. And he has nemesises, enemies, and he must overpower them in the most perfect fashion. But fair folk are very interested in creation and in mortals because mortals have a soul. They have the ability to create. They have creativity and things that the fair folk don't. And the fair folk like that. They are intrigued by that. That's why they model themselves off of people sometimes, or creation's animals. And, they eat human souls, too.
Yeah.
There's nothing more rushing for them than devouring a human soul.
Yeah, you're right, Clockwork. Oh, go on.
I was going to say, I brought up the map on the stream here. This is literally it for the world. Outside of this map is just roiling chaos.
The farther out you get from creation, you have what are called the border marches, the middle marches, and the deep wild. When you go out into the border marches, it's mostly going to follow the rules of creation, but you might get some crazy things. Like you might have a lake of glass rather than a lake of water. You may come across a group of flying fish.
May come across a pair of volcanoes that are behaving like an hourglass simply because they can.
Yeah, it's like you get a lot of creationness, but it's not necessarily right. It's more strange. When you get into the middle marches, the rule of physics become more like guidelines. That's where you can start, swimming up or falling upwards into the sky, or suddenly the ground is no longer ground, but now maple syrup.
And
just because it decided to be.
And when you get into the full wild, well, Lord Mamu, I've come to bargain.
Well, no, it's actually worse. Any mortal that goes into the deep wild without protection, like magical protection, like what Zusha is doing, will basically be instantly unmade or transformed or changed from one moment to the next and basically assimilated into the wild. It's pure chaos. You go into the warp without a Geller field, for those who know Warhammer.
I wouldn't say it's... The warp isn't that bad.
Yeah, no, it's really, really bad. Once creation used to be about 9 times bigger than what this map that Zim showed was. But the fair folk led a great crusade and basically unmade 9/10 of creation. But they were wiped out before they could finish the job. And right now they want to do it again!
Well, basically, Clockworker Gen, basically what it is they can only ever write fanfic. They are
Yeah.
cursed right fanfic for all eternity.
Yeah, pretty much.
And yeah, Domino is a flawless example of that. A pristine example. Pure, complete, you know? There's a word for it, but it's on the tip of my tongue.
Yes, it's called salt.
Ah!
Did somebody say salt? Where is such this perfect substance?
No, I wouldn't say the P word. No, it's definitely not that.
Domino thrives off of conflict, and that's one of the reasons he acts the way he does, because he knows the reaction he gets and he feeds off of that. One of the reasons he's so interested in Nevis is because Nevis is like so against him and trying to avoid being married to him. So this creates a conflict which Domino feeds off of. They need conflict.
Oh my
pitting
god, they're
themselves against another.
codependent!
I understand that reference.
These fair folk, by the way, for those who are in the other game, they are the same fair folk as the fair folk in World of Darkness.
So yeah.
Oh, you guys.
When does willpower
Alright.
regenerate?
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, when does willpower regenerate?
1 point per day.
Oh, wow, okay.
Unless you do something epic, then you get a point back.
Ah. Let's hope that we don't get into any more trouble next couple days.
Well, you might have done something epic right here.
So each of you is going to get an item that I'm going to give you, and each of you are going to get enough experience to raise you guys up to Essence 4. I just need to double check what that is.
100, I think, isn't it?
You sure you want to bump us up
Hi.
so fast?
Yeah, Essence really doesn't affect how powerful you are. And now I'm done with just using these little things. From now on, I'm going to be throwing you guys against my things.
I hear you guys need conflict.
Yeah, perfect timing.
Just thought I'd drop in and say hi.
We are closing out the
Alright,
session.
yeah.
Yeah, no.
Thank you all so much for joining us this evening or not evening.
Oh, darling, it's Timber! It's so good to see you. Tell me, how is the Empress doing? It's been so long since I've seen her. I really must attend court sometime with her. Ah, she's still the light of my eyes, even after she rejected my marriage proposals the last 30 times.
You know what just
Is
happened
that
here?
more than Nate?
No, you know what just happened here? It's like, oh, this is the perfect conflict. Domino's about to say it, and then Timber's head just rips through like John Cena. Did somebody say perfect?
And his name is Timbo!
This is mine now.
I don't know what's
Well,
going
okay
on,
then.
but I'm perfectly okay with that.
All right. Well, thank you for joining today for Tides of Madness Exalted. I will be back in a few minutes with some more streaming, so don't go anywhere except to check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We have links for our Discord, Telegram, Twitter, Patreon, all those things there on the website, as well as down in the description below. Do consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It is only with your support that these streams are able to continue coming to you all. So thank you to my patrons, donators, and subscribers. You keep these streams going. You guys are literally the lifeblood of the stream. Well, you guys are the veins. The viewers are the lifeblood, you know? That works better. I think that's a better
That mean that I have viewers inside me?
Yes. Yes. You have viewers
There's only one way to
inside.
find out.
So I
Yes.
just realized something. We're in the middle marches, which means having fucking Timber's head popping out and saying, "Did somebody say conflict?" is actually possible.
Technically, yes. Though none of us would know it's Timber. Anyways, I'll be back in a few minutes. I bid you all the most fondest adieu. Do tune in next week.